Hey guys, welcome back to We Watch Movie. I'm Mike,
I'm Jay.
and we're both
Gay.
ready. Oh, yeah, that
For
too.
wieners. I mean, happiness.
I want them. Give them to me because I'm hungry and I haven't eaten since noon. How you guys doing?
Doing good. Thanks.
Oh, well,
We
you
are
young
Venom.
gentlemen. Oh man, hey, bunch of people already in here waiting. There's a lot. The chat was going kind of nuts before we came in. So thank you guys for
They're
waiting
all here
for
for Doctor Strange.
Yeah,
I know I am. Strange love.
That's how I learned to stop worrying and fuck the bomb. That's how it goes, right?
What?
That's Dr. Strangelove, how I stopped worrying and learned to fuck the bomb.
Yep, that's the good one. That's the Pornhub description.
That is, by the way, if you ever get a bomb in your house, don't worry, don't call the cops, don't call the bomb department, just fuck it. That's how you get rid of a bomb, kids.
That's it.
Just in case anybody didn't know that. I used to work for the bomb fucking squad.
Or you just be like Jeremy Renner in that movie.
Yeah.
And you just don't care.
Yeah.
Well, that's a great fucking movie. I can't remember that. The Hurt Locker.
Hurt Locker. Yeah.
That's such a good movie. Underrated.
Movie rules. That and Jarhead, two underrated military movies.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Hey, what's up, dude? Dark Light, thank you so much. First super chat of the night. He says, I see your motives inside. I see your motives inside. Decisions to hide. Back off. I'll take you on. Headstrong. Take on anyone. Headstrong. That's funny, dude. I don't know if you saw that, Dark Light, but we had a Patreon stream on Saturday, and I put the meme up, and I was like, this is me coming into the Patreon stream Saturday night. And the words were, back off, I'll suck you off. Drop your pants, I'll suck off anyone. It's like, let's see that dong. Headstrong. Yeah, those guys turned out to be huge douchebags, by the way.
Yeah, that's what you said.
Yeah, not just when we saw them, but in real life. Apparently, they're giant assholes now. But
I don't know. Yeah, I think I heard something about that.
Yeah, they're like, they're hardcore right wing, which whatever. I don't give a fuck about people's politics, but they were being huge cunts to people who like about
what's
it.
The band's name again?
Trapped.
Yeah.
TRAPT.
Well, I mean, it's not like they have that huge of a following anymore. Trapped is like, someone's still, carrying the flag for Sega Genesis.
Yeah,
just nobody really gives a shit anymore. It's like you had one great song and everybody loved you for it, and then you just kind of whatever. You're like Rat now from the 80s.
I probably saw them like 3 times live back in the day.
Was that the one that you tried to get their autograph though? He was eating.
No, that was Story of the Year.
That was the one that I remember. That was on you. Yeah,
that was my fault. But the Trap guy, Cody, just went up to the guitar player, Jay's brother Cody, and he was like, "Hey man, you're amazing." He's like, "I know." And like walked away. I was like, "What a douche."
The cloud's been for me, sir.
Thanks, Dark Light. And Tyler, what's up, dude? Thank you, man. He says, Mike, Jay, you get over here and you make love to my wife. Love you, fellas.
Did you just tell me to go fuck his wife?
Yeah, you did. Love you, fellas. Oh, and Mike, Tina is the best Halloween 5 character. Just kidding, huh? Tina.
Tyler, you should have just left out the JK. Haha. You should have been like, it's a statement of fact, sir. She is the greatest character of all time.
Some people love her, dude. They really do. And I would rather cut my own ear off and wipe my butt with it.
Loving her is like loving that Amber Turd left a duty in your bed.
Yeah.
That's about the same love there. Yeah, grumpy. Yeah. I picked up some mess. Fun. I picked up the dog's fun.
Yeah. Real Razor, thanks, buddy. I still love the. It's good to see old Scott Hall in there every time you comment, man. Good to see my boys tonight. You all buying the Evil Dead game on the 13th. Are you gonna buy that, Jay?
I don't know. I saw some gameplay for it. It looks cool. I mean, it looks awesome. But I don't know if I'm gonna. I think it's all. I know there's a story to it, but I think a lot of it's based on the multiplayer aspect of it. Like you have to play with other people. I don't know. I may not. I might just watch the cutscenes or something. Like I just got done. I can't play those games anymore, like the Injustice games, and that's what I love. That FMV. Those, just why I watch the story. So I might just do the same thing. I don't know if I'll drop the $50 or 60, whatever it's going to be. I think it's 40 for the basic.
Yeah, it's good. I'm gonna actually go and buy that one like the day it comes out because I felt so stupid that like Friday the 13th came out, and that would have been like the perfect game. We even tried to play it online a couple times by our internet. We couldn't get it to work.
Yeah.
And by then, we didn't worry too much about it because we were so late to the game. I'd like to start playing this one immediately, and then if there's a way we could like play it together online, I think that would.
Well, if you get it, I'll get it. But the thing is, if you order it now, I think if you pre-order it, you get. I think the bonus thing is you get Ash's costume from Army of Darkness.
Yeah. Which I never cared about any of that shit. They'll nickel.
It's all about the skins, Steven. It's all about the skins.
They fuck you with the skins. But no, dude, Slash and Cash, you see what they did? Those fucking sexual dudes over there, they got to play the game with Bruce Campbell.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, he was in their video and everything. It was fucking
That wasn't
crazy.
him.
I was super happy.
That was a Hollywood replica. That wasn't him. That was a
I was like,
stand-in.
I guess my invite got lost in the mail. No, that was a cool video though. It was neat, and that's what they do. They do all that Friday 13th shit. And he's always the Slash Cast dude's always like, hey man, I'll show you guys how to set up your shit sometime. And we're always like, every time they're in town, we're like, but we're all drunk.
I always feel like that means you want to come to my house where I live, where I poop. You want to come to my room?
I'm not.
I have a giant collection of dildos with different logos of superheroes on it. You might be judgy. Don't kink shame me. I just don't want people to be outside. I don't want outside people to know that. I said it, but you don't see it.
Yeah.
That's why the camera is just like this.
Yeah, it just shows Jay's sex dungeons to the left over there.
It is, which is full of dildos and all
sorts of
anal beads.
I don't know if that's actually what he meant, but I don't know. He's a really nice guy, so he's
a really nice guy, super sweet.
Yeah. Jerry Ramey, thank you, buddy. He says, serves them right. They only had one good song. Headstrong, I'll suck off anyone. When Andy comes on, do you try to get Halloween spoilers out of her? That's a good question, Jerry. And the answer is no.
I don't try that because I'm just happy that she's even agreeing to be on the show. Because the last thing I'm gonna do is like, so tell me, seriously, what goes? Tell me the fucking truth. Does Michael die though? What's the ending? What's the ending like? I mean, what when you got hired on, there was a script leak. I don't do that shit because I don't want her to be like, I'm never coming back on for those assholes again because they're fishing for shit.
Yeah. And also, it's a thing like when you have somebody on the show like that, you don't want to get them in trouble. You know what I mean? They're nice enough to come on the show. So you could 23 skidoo and try to trick them into something like people do. But I don't like trying to do that because it's like, hey, thanks for coming on my show. I'm going to fuck up your career.
Yeah.
I'm going to get you in
Give
trouble.
her the old dick twist. Have her dick and twist.
I think you're by. Oh, there it goes. It's back. Yeah.
She's a man.
Yeah. And sometimes I'll like, and also those are pre-recorded. So if even if we did get her to say, if we were dickhead enough to get her to say something that was like a spoiler, she could just call me and be like, hey, take that shit the fuck out. And I'll be like, all right.
Yeah. We're pretty, we try to be as respectful as we can to anybody that comes on. And honestly, I just like talking to them. I mean, I just want to, chill out and talk to them like that. I feel like I loved having Andy on. Andy was cool, but I still loved having Alan McElroy. I mean, I was so close to sucking that man's dick through the camera. It was ridiculous because I was just in love with him because I thought he was so interesting and he had so many insights, but we only got him for 30 minutes. And I'm like, Dad, don't go.
We got to have him back on, man.
I love that guy. That guy's super cool. I just didn't like his ideas for Halloween 5, but other than that, everything was kosher.
Yeah. He had a good time. Speaking of which, somebody that we had on the show recently just gave us some actual breaking Halloween ends news. Nothing crazy, nothing huge, but we'll talk about that when we get to Halloween ends part. So stick around for that. But there's also, it's not just that. That's a tiny little piece of news that we actually broke for once. But and I mean it is tiny, but just like my wiener. But what I'm gonna say, but but I'm good at oral. No, there is other Halloween ends news that happened that's pretty goddamn interesting if you ask my crack.
Well, you know what's going to happen is there's going to be a pumpkin in it at the very beginning that's going to get sliced up.
God damn it, Jay, they told us not to say anything.
I know, I should have said that. I'm fucking remove myself from this.
Damn it.
This great fucking channel of always authentic news. Now we become what's their name? We got this covered. Yeah, that's it. That's us now. That's the most reliable news source I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, that's where you should get your news from for sure. Jason Blum is never going to snort cocaine off hookers' titties with us again. Thanks to you, Jay.
I know. Well, I mean, I didn't like Alicia anyway.
He had those cheeks spread, and he was like, "Guess what? Well, there's a pumpkin in Halloween ends. Don't tell anybody."
Well, when we were sniffing coke off those strippers' buttholes, little did I know that Sheena was a man. So, funky cold Medina, my asshole.
It was Jason Blum. He's like, "Hey, that's the wrong tree you're barking up there."
Jason Blum turns out to be like that guy from Night of the Roxbury. He's like, "Hey, did you grab my ass? Would you like to?"
Oh shit. Thank you. They call me Stamps, Anthony Stamps. Appreciate you, man. He says, I forgot to mention this the other day, but congratulations on getting second place for favorite Halloween YouTuber on the Halloween subreddit poll.
Oh, did we?
We got God. But in my opinion, Anthony, we got first place in that Reddit poll because the thing was they had a bunch of people listed and a bunch of great YouTubers and stuff listed on there. But the problem is that they also had other listed, and other had more votes than we did. Okay,
who's number one?
We were number one, but other technically had more votes. So basically, they said, yeah. But in my opinion, we won. So
I was hoping it would be Drum Dum, so I could say that guy's full of shit.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
He's not number one. Are you
Fuck
kidding
Lee.
me? Number one in the asshole eating contest. That's true.
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
I didn't even know anything about. I didn't even know we were on a subreddit. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, they just put up a vote on Reddit and were like, "Hey, who's your favorite Halloween YouTuber?" And we won, but
You know where we
other
come
had
in number
more.
one? We come in number one as the corniest and most mediocre channel to still be around after 10 years. I think that's where we get our number one red ribbon.
Longevity. Yeah, not goodness. You're good. You're good.
Yeah.
Oh, you coming over
Oh.
here? What are you doing? What are you Where the
she looks
Hi.
like she was trying to go down the steps.
Hey, we caught a Pokemon.
By the way, I was going to tell you, I don't know if you know this. Well, I don't know. Did you ever watch the FMV or the Injustice 2 game? Did you ever watch it, the whole thing?
The cut sequences?
Yeah, just all the story, basically.
No, I played the game with that one for a little while, but we only got like halfway through it.
Dude, it's an awesome story. But the guy they got to voice, and I was thinking to myself, and I was like, I was listening because it had been a while since I'd watched the movie Injustice 2. Dude, Robert Englund voices Scarecrow. He would actually be a really good Scarecrow if they ever recast it and do an older, like more scarred up looking Scarecrow and put him in like the Robert Pattinson's Batman.
Weren't you just talking about this the other day? Oh, it was on the Patreon stream. You were talking about that.
Was I? I didn't know I talk. Yeah. Well, then, yeah. So
I
that's
agree,
the same
though.
thing.
In any case.
Well, I mean, yeah, make him all scarred up and shit like he was in Arkham Knight, and where his face is half off, because then it's just basically Freddy Krueger with fear gas.
Yeah, I could totally see that. That'd be good casting. I think it'd be dope. So someone said he's too old. I'm like, nah, he's not too old, man.
No, that's why I say if you scar his face up and you make him look all nasty and stuff like he looked in Arkham Knight, like with his teeth sticking out and shit, just a pile of herpes on a face, and he's fine.
I'd be 100% for that, man. I really would. Thanks, Anthony. Appreciate you, man. Inky the Alien, thank you. Says, hey guys, hope you're both doing good. I was worried I wouldn't be able to make it tonight, but I'm so glad I could. You guys are awesome, and I love the streams. We love you.
Thank you so much.
It's nice to see your fucking face in here. You know that?
Inky the Alien, and thanks for the butt probe. Enjoyed much. Appreciate that.
It's the perfect butt probe because they can make you forget it, and then you don't have to feel guilty for letting the alien.
By the way, I was going to say, I also got. I don't know if you want this or not. I mean, I think we can share it. I've got that DC Infinity. I signed up for that, where you can read digital comic books.
I'll borrow that.
You get all of it, and I've been reading like all the old issues of like. I read this one called Deceased. It's basically DC zombies. It's fucking cool. I mean, there's all sorts of cool shit on there.
Yeah, I had the Marvel one for a while because I was going to read all the Deadpools, but then it's not the same to me reading on my phone. So I'm like, fuck it.
I just read it on the computer, but I got tired. I used to have Marvel Unlimited or whatever it was called, but I got tired of tasting Mickey Mouse's dick. So I was like, I'm done with this stuff.
Yeah, it's the same. Yeah, it gets old after a while. But hey, you know what I don't ever want to go back and reread from Marvel is the Heroes Reborn storyline. Like, it was cool at the time, but I never want to read it again.
Well, Heroes Reborn was my mind. No, Heroes Reborn was the shit. Heroes Reborn, the return was decent because that's when they kicked off the newer ones. The Reborn was only a limited 12-issue series.
Yeah, that's. I just remember about the little kid.
But dude, you gotta get. Well, I'll let you have the login credentials for the DC Infinity because I haven't read it yet, but I'm getting ready to. That when Scott Snyder took over for the New 52 Batman, that's where you get into the Court of Owls shit. And apparently, he was like an amazing writer.
I still have the graphic novel. I think I probably borrowed it from you forever ago and just kept it.
Court of Owls.
Court of Owls. Yeah, it's a good comic, man. It's a good graphic novel, I should say. That's good. But the new 52 shit was kind of cool for a while there.
Now they got a new one.
Yeah,
they restarted the whole fucking shit again. I was like, I can't keep up.
I can't trust
you. Think I made up money?
Yeah.
You can't. I mean, you can't. If you go to a comic book store or wherever you get your hobbies and things, you can't afford a fucking comic book anymore. They're like $6, and the price is $6 and the birth of your newborn child to buy it. Just one issue. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'd buy it if it was a collector's edition. I'd give up my firstborn, but it's not anything special.
That's crazy that you mentioned that though, because I went to Ollie's, which is basically like shitty
Queen.
Yeah, it's like a warehouse of shitty stuff that nobody wants that they sell cheap. But it's fun to go in there and never fucking end up buying anything. But anyways, if you have an Ollie's, there's a comic. They have a section of graphic novels there, and some of them are actually okay. But they have this one I bought. It's Deadpool. It's called The Return of the Living Deadpool. And it was like $5, and it's the whole graphic novel. Fucking awesome, dude. Like, the world's been taken over by Deadpools because he tried to kill himself to save everybody, but then like
I don't know if I read that one. It sounds familiar though. Dude, if some of those thrift shops, you can get some really good deals on some graphic novels.
Yeah, man. I was happy.
Never buy that shit new. If you can get it used, go ahead and get it or steal it.
Well, like you said, who the
don't.
fuck
I mean,
can afford
not like out and don't. I mean, don't steal it, but steal it.
I tried to do this subscription thing one time. I ordered like 6 comics. I went to the comic store. They handed me my order. I got in the fucking car, paid like $45 for like 6 comics or whatever it was. Got in the car, opened up the comic, and the fucking edges were all fucked up. Like already. I was like, God damn it.
Dude, I used to be in the comic book shop back in the day when I was still collecting. I'd be like Indiana Jones in there searching for the hidden entrance to the Temple of Doom. I would have my whole yellow pad legal paper of all the comic books I needed to complete a run. I would like pull out each comic book and examine it, and then I would lay them in piles like maybe, going to, not sure, and then not, and I would have them laying out. And dude, it was really, because I had an agenda when I walked in. I was like, I need these comic books. And then I would look at them, and then I would smell them, because you always got to smell them. And then one time I got in trouble because I opened it up and I was like pulling it out just to kind of look at it. And the guy was like, "Hey, no." And I was like, all I was doing was the tape was like coming off, and I was putting it like and he was like, "You can't open it." I was like, "I didn't open it though. The tape popped off."
I want to lick it.
No, but I had opened it though. Well, this one time, I shouldn't admit this because it makes me sound like a bastard, but I only did it once. I really bad wanted the issue of Batman getting his back broke by Bane, because it was a cool comic book and it was an amazing cover during the Nightfall kickoff.
It's a good one.
Well, they wanted like $25 for it, and I knew it wasn't mint. It didn't even look mint. It looked like maybe it was a good condition, like 7. And we wanted 25, and when that guy wasn't looking, I peeled off that sticker and I put a cheaper sticker on it.
Oh, you're going straight to hell. You're no Christian.
Yeah, dude, that guy was making a shit ton of money. I'd spent like $150 in there that day. That guy probably took his fucking wife out and all sorts of shit on that money. I didn't feel bad for one comic book, and he was overcharging the shit out of it. It wasn't even worth 25. I looked up Wizard, and I knew exactly how much that shit was worth when I walked in there. I was like, it was worth like 15. And I knew he wouldn't negotiate.
I did
one of those sneak. I felt like shit, because I almost even said, I got to go back and say, "Sir, I stole from you." And then I was like, but I got it and I got away with it. So no, I'm not going to do it. I turned around, and there was like another comic book that was like $10 on the thing, because I only had $20 left that I could spend. I had budgeted 20. And I took this, by the way, I was like 15 or 16. I was not like this. I don't collect comic books anymore, but I pulled it off, and it was an old man. He was like talking to someone else. I think I told Cody to go distract him, because he also sold music equipment.
You brought your little brother into your heist, huh?
He was like a year and a half. He knew what he was doing. He walked with his eyes open all the way. Anyway, I was like, boop, boop, boop. And it's not a barcode, so he didn't know. He kind of looked when I brought him up there. I put him in between all the other stacks of comic books I wanted, and he was going through them and typing it into those old register. And then he went to that one. He kind of stared at it for a minute, and I was like, "Oh shit," because I already had a backup. I already had a contingency. I was like Batman. I had a contingency for a contingency. I was gonna be like, if he had said, "I don't remember that being that cheap," and I was like, "I don't know. That's what I picked up. It was right over there." I mean, it was, I don't know. I mean, there was another guy in here earlier, and he was a sketchy looking guy, and maybe he did something.
Yeah.
He luckily didn't care. But I was also a good customer. What made me feel worse is he probably knew I fucking like fucked him over, but I was such a good custoer, and he was just like, "I'm not gonna do anything tonight. I'm not gonna get you in trouble." It's like when I got caught, when I came to work, when I worked at FS, I don't remember, CSA, or when I was working in the mail room.
ACS.
I came, ACS. Yeah, I worked at ACS, and I smelled like booze because I had been drinking the night before, and we had stopped at 2 a.m. at the karaoke bar, and I had to be at work at 5, and I didn't have time to take a shower, so I showed up fucking smelling like booze. And my boss was like, because the guy told me, he was like, "Yeah, you were standing right next to him," and he told us afterwards, he was like, "Jonathan's got problems," and he was like, "Oh yeah," he's like, "He smelled like booze." He was like a Serbian or something or whatever, and he was like, "I'm not going to tell him, I'm not getting him in trouble, but he has problem. I could smell it on him." And I was like, "Oh fuck," because that's what some guy told me.
No, Dimitri, you have fucking problem. I saw you.
Dimitri always, he came in there smelled like cognac, so I didn't want to hear his mouth.
Why you do this to me, Dimitri?
Yeah, he looked like that dude from GTA 4. Not remember when they were all Russians? That's how he looked and acted.
I worked in that same mailroom, and I had a bunch of Bulgarian friends, and they were all like, in Homeland I was doctor. Here I'm your fucking mail. I'm like, "I'm sorry, Steve." We get beers later. I'm like, "Yeah, Steve."
Yeah, the mailroom I worked in, we were like the Justice League of fucking holy shit, because it was like me. Then there was a super duper Kentuckian redneck. There was a kid that was a stoner from California. There was a Spanish dude from Brazil. He could speak English, but not that well. He even talked about how he fucking smuggled in heroin once. And then there was the guy that our boss was a fucking, I think he was, I don't know if he was Serbian or what, but he was like a Russian sounding dude. It was like, it literally was a sitcom waiting to happen, dude. Like it really was.
They've got it's a what's the word, diversity, the lack of an old wooden ship.
Well, that was before that was before I remember even Twitter being, well, maybe it was, but it was not. Yeah, this is like they hired diversity before diversity was even a goddamn thing. It's like people need money from all walks of life. Fuck you.
Hey, Lego
Rhapsody.
Yeah. Yes.
Grayson, I think he's an underrated character.
Can you think of any other ways to say yes?
I just want to imagine Lego Rhapsody going, "Do you like dick?"
Hey, you're from America.
Do you like dick?
My name is Jeff.
Do you like dick?
Oh shit. Megalomaniacs. God damn you, Michael. I had a blast yesterday at Dave & Buster's for my birthday. Also, not awesome. Gonna lie, if Michael wins at the end, I would be happy. Me too, man.
Fine. Yeah,
me too.
I'd be okay with that.
I tweeted
the other win.
Yeah, I tweeted the other day. I was like, about the whole contract that you can't kill Michael, and I was like, hopefully it stays that way. And some people misunderstood me. They're like, they could kill Michael in this one and bring him back. And I'm like, no, I'm just kind of saying that I kind of hope Michael fucking wins. I hope he walks away and then everyone's fucking dead.
Yeah, we talked about that before. The old mention of that a COD, you can't kill him. I mean, it's the facts. I mean, he's not gonna die. I mean, not necessarily die. He's just gonna be, hurt really bad, and then he's gonna go and recover and drink some tequila, and that's it.
Yeah. Now he may die for this trilogy's sake, but I still hope he doesn't. But he'll be back. He's like James Bond now.
I think he's gonna do one of those Batman or Dark Knight. What was it? Dark Knight Rises, where he just flies away in the bat plane and then he's in Paris. And Dr. Loomis sees him and he was like,
"Yeah, oh god, that's exactly what's in my mind. I'm picturing the same thing you are." Yeah, that's what I think is going to happen, man. But hey, I'm glad you had a great time at Dave & Buster's.
I've never been there. I can't, I know. I think you told me, because I wanted one time to go for a birthday party at Dave & Buster's. But I think you told me it's just overpacked and you can't play a game anyway, and it's just like super crowded.
Yeah. Well, also happy birthday, Megalo, by the way. Happy fucking birthday.
Happy birthday, Megalo.
But yeah, well, it depends. I mean, if you go now, they're everywhere. It's like, if it's not Dave & Buster's, it's a different kind. They have a bunch of these giant arcade/bars. At Dave & Buster's, it's like my least favorite one though, because it's like a fucking Applebee's, and then there's a line between that and the games, and it's like I have this big gigantic beer, and I'm walking around there's kids running around everywhere, and I'm like, I don't know where to put my beer to play.
Put him on the child's head.
Yeah, I'm trying to play like Jurassic Park, and I'm like, where do I put my fucking beer? It's like you would think they go together better than they do.
They let kids in there? I thought it was like an adult bar.
No, it's all kids, adults,
Fuck
kids.
That.
Mixed
I'll just go
together.
to Chuck E. Cheese and smack some kids out of the way to play skee ball. Because then I have to deal with their drunken parents.
Yeah. The best thing they have here, they have this little place called Arcade, the Burl Arcade, and we've been there, and it's like old school, and it's like pinball and like X-Men. It's nothing but old school games, and they're like 50 cents to play, and it's just a bar. After like 8 p.m., it's just for adults. That's where it's at.
It's a fun place, but it literally looks like a petri dish for where COVID came from. Because it's just it also looks like a place that Punisher would kick down the door and ask where the drugs are. Like it looks like they would be running some nefarious shit.
Maybe like a hipster Punisher, like if he had a fedora on, I could see that.
It just feels like that place was low level lighting, and then there's just beer signs and arcades, and it literally looks like the thing in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 1. It's like menthol or regular.
Yeah, they did have that little punch cigarette thing. I like that place a lot. Colton Kaler, thanks, buddy. He says, what's one cameo y'all are hoping for in Doctor Strange 2? Absolutely fucking no one. I seem like an old angry man.
Yeah, I know. Just get off my goddamn lawn, you twerp. You big-eared motherfucker. Go fly yourself back home to your mother that doesn't love you, that adopted you, and wishes you never got born so she could be a slut. Anyway, that was a lot of inside information that I shouldn't have given you.
Maureen Prescott?
I know. It's not about me. It's just about a guy that I do. But no, the one cameo, I am interested in one cameo. I kind of got spoiled because I think... again, they said it was a reliable person, and they're on Reddit, so you could take it with a grain of salt. It's like getting your information from 4chan. But so I got spoiled on it. So I already know kind of who's in the secret society or whatever that Doctor Strange runs into, or at least what's according to this guy that saw the movie early. But the biggest, the cameo that I would love to see in that movie, I think it would be really cool and really neat because they'd already teased it a bunch or talked about it, would be Tom Cruise as Iron Man. Just like a quick cameo as him in an alternate world where Tom Cruise was Iron Man. I was like, I could see it. It fits.
I do want to see that.
With his big fucking gnarly ass teethy smile and being like Scientology, woo, and then flying off.
I do actually want to see that. I totally take back my answer. Like, I mean, we all know he was at the red carpet. Professor Xavier's in it, so that's a given. Like Patrick Stewart, which is pretty cool.
I know another one though, a big one, but I don't want to say it because I don't want to spoil. Well, you know, I could say it, but again, it's a grain of salt because again, the person that said it on Reddit, you don't know if they're telling the truth.
May as well take the risk-free assessment.
Yeah. Well, the only other one besides that I'd like to see is Deadpool. I think Deadpool would be really cool to see at the end.
Damn it, Jay. Yeah, me too. I'll take your answer again.
You are a bullshitter.
I was making a statement with my angry response. And the only reason I say that is because I've seen a bunch of people that are like, a bunch of people are upset because there's not enough cameos in it.
Well, and that's just spoiled. That's people that are spoiled.
Yeah, we're a couple minutes, I promise, away from getting into the review reactions. But my thing about that is just like I don't need the cameos. Like where I'm actually like I'm not technically superhero fatigued. I still get excited about these movies. Like so I'm not to that point yet, but I'm not that far away from it. And like when
for the Marvel though, for Marvel, I think mainly Marvel's got the cookie cut.
But like I'm to the point now where I want to see a Sam Raimi film. I'm way more. I think the only reason I'm actually excited to go see this is it's like 92% Sam Raimi and 8% Doctor Strange. Like I'm very excited to see Sam Raimi do this movie, and I want to see his mark on it. You know what I mean? So I don't really care. I'm not actually here for all the MCU world building shit. Like I'm here to see a good fucking Sam Raimi film. So
well, you know what I think too is I think that Sam Raimi, like this is his wheelhouse. This is like what he likes to do. This is a weird type of movie that he's drawn to, and then also on top of that, there's horror elements in this that he gets to play with, which is I think he excels at. So and you look at stuff like Spider-Man 1, 2. Well, we're not going to count 3. Fuck that. But if you look at Spider-Man 1 and 2, he does such a fantastical job with that. But I think this is even better suited in his wheelhouse as far as this type of subject material in Doctor Strange. So yeah, the Sam Raimi part of it should make anybody be excited to go see it. And then on top of that, you got to remember the very idea, Doctor Strange. This could be. It could be the darkest movie that they ever put out so far in the MCU.
Yeah, I think it will be.
Other than Moon Knight, I'm not counting TV, but.
And we'll talk about that in some of the reactions, but I mean, I do think that too, because like I didn't think it would be, honestly. I thought they were fucking bullshitting us again because they said Doctor Strange is going to be darker too, and that was like the most Mickey Mouse fucking movie that I've ever seen. But like, I don't know. We'll get into it in a second because I have a lot.
By the way, I was going to tell you, a really good cameo part for Deadpool to pop up is if he did pop up at the end and you kind of see a katana slice through the black screen when the movie's over, and then you see Deadpool, Ryan Reynolds. He goes, "This isn't my universe. Wait, is this a rated R movie?" And they're like, "No." And he's like, "Oh, fuck." And then
yeah, I'd be into that. Like
that. Yeah,
I don't. Deadpool's my fucking favorite dude, so I'd be happy to see him in it. And it's
sexy motherfucker.
This shit's gonna have nuts in it. But I'll tell you this, man, it's a fucking shame that we haven't got anything from Deadpool yet. That's all I'll say. Mercurio80, thanks, buddy. Says, hey guys, can Dr. Loomis please tell my nephew Johnny to get his act together? He's 21 and living off my sister. That's a perfect question for Loomis.
Oh my God. Hey Johnny, pick your fat ass up. Go get a job. That's it. What do you think you are, Johnny Depp? You're not as good looking, you're not as successful, and you don't have a crazy bitch named Amber Todd shitting in your bed. What you do have is employment issues. Taking a dump all over your goddamn face. I don't want to hear Johnny. Johnny. Rotten little turd. Get your act together. You're a 21-year-old man. What are you, a sissy? You're a pussy boy. You don't want to go out there and get your hands dirty. Well, suck a dick. Welcome to real life. Time to get a job. Good luck to you.
All of my sins will suck a dick.
That's going to be the new
yours doesn't. I'm just saying it should.
No, it's going to be the new catchphrase. Suck a dick.
Jay Raby says, thanks, by the way, Jay. Appreciate that, man. It says, Lee from Drum Drums looks like Mark Tremonti to me for some reason.
I don't know who that is.
I think that's the guitar player for Creed, if I'm not mistaken. I want to say. I'm not 100% sure.
But he does look like somebody. I think a long time ago, I think there was somebody he looked dead on, and I can't remember who it was. But yeah, I think he's got one of those faces that kind of matches up with some people.
He does. You're right. I think we've talked about it, but I can't think exactly who it is right now. Anyways, he's a handsome son of a bitch. I know that. I'd sleep with him. That's not saying a lot. I'd sleep with with him.
I'd sleep with a hobo down the street just for some warmth or some cuddling.
Yeah, that's kind of, I'm in that. I fuck more people than Dr. Chalice. Speaking of which, Mike Johnson sounds like a pretty good lay. Thanks, buddy. He says, hey, guys, keep up the good work. I haven't showed up to the live stream since I started my new hours at my job. 4 a.m. comes early. God damn you, Mike.
He's going to say, hey, guys, keep up the good work. Haven't showed up to a live stream since I found a better channel than yours that actually offers good intel and enjoyment.
It's not hard to
find.
Good
luck on your shitty channel. I'd be like, that was the most honest I've ever heard in my life.
not hard to find at all, Mike. But hey, congrats on the new job. Getting up at 4 fucking sucks cock. Balls, shit, sandwiches, but that's why the replays are left up, my friend. And we always try to answer the comments. So we're there with you in spirit, even if you can't be here. But thanks for being here tonight, man. You know, I hope that we can
make your night a little bit easier with some soft, soothing tunes and some nice, gentle hands.
Yeah,
just big old wiener of yours, Mike Johnson.
Yeah, just do us a favor and touch yourself while we touch you. Michael Parton, thanks, buddy. He says, with John Watts is out for directing Fickle-Eyed Cherry.
The Fat Four, yes.
It's out for Fantastic.
Is that about The View?
Directing Fantastic Four. Any director ideas? If Joel Schumacher was still alive, I'd choose him.
For Fantastic Four?
Yeah, he better stay the fuck away from superhero movies if he's still alive.
Well, listen, if Joel Schumacher was... you know what? I just watched something recently on Joel Schumacher, and I think we talked about this before. I think that Joel Schumacher did have a lot of studio pressure on him to make what the abomination is of Batman and Robin and in beginning in Batman Forever. But Joel Schumacher was responsible for like some of the best movies ever. Like you're talking about The Lost Boys, you're talking about Phone Booth, you're talking about some dark, gritty ass movie. Did he do Falling Down? I don't think. Was that Schumacher? Yeah. So you're talking about some really cool psychological movies that had like a really dark tone to it and that were grounded in reality. And then he goes to the superhero flick and then studios and toys. I would not pick but if he were, so I don't blame him necessarily by himself for Batman, but I don't think he'd be a good idea for Fantastical Fours. I don't know who would be a good director, but I would not put Schumacher in there if he were still alive at all.
Yeah. I don't know who should direct it.
Edgar Wright. I think Edgar Wright could do really good with it.
He's too much of an original person for Marvel though, you know?
I would still love to see the Edgar Wright Ant-Man. I would still love to see what he did with it.
Yeah, that would be great too. And hey, like I'm joking about that because I know Sam Raimi's movie's about to come out, but let's not forget that this is the same movie that Scott Derrickson had 2 original, Sinister and the Black Phone. Scott Derrickson had 2 original of a Vision for, so he had to leave the project. And Sam Raimi came on. I think Sam Raimi knows how to finagle those strings a little bit better because he's a producer. But with Marvel, with something like Fantastic Four that's been fucked up so many times, I think what you're going to get, Michael, is you're going to get the safest fucking bet possible. You're going to get a big name who's done a lot of Marvel type fucking movies that just fit the bill. They're a perfect little box. They're not going to upset anybody. They're not going to knock anybody's socks off. They're just going to be just good, lighthearted comedy and family fun. And that's
going to be Bill Cosby,
the guy who did Free Guy, probably. That's who I'm going to say directs this movie.
Or Pixels.
Yeah, maybe Krasinski directs it and stars in it, right?
Yeah, I think the Fantastic Four is going to be good. I mean, I think Marvel. Again, we kind of joke around and kind of rib MCU, but they are good. I mean, they are able to take a product and really make something special out of it. I mean, you can see that with Spider-Man. They were able to resurrect that and do a great job. I think they're going to do a good job with Fantastic Four, but I feel like Fantastic Four is a very easy property to fuck up if you make it too. It's all about family, y'all, and then cast Vin Diesel as Mr. Fantastic.
Oh, God. Whoa! Have you heard about that, by the way?
I heard, yeah. He's somebody called him fat and lazy.
Yeah, the director, Justin Lin.
I saw the picture too. Such an unflattering picture with his belly and titties hanging out. I was like, that looks like me when I'm getting up in the morning. Oh, shit. Gotta go do it.
The video that they posted, Justin Lin looks so uncomfortable. He left $10 to $12 million on the table just to get away from fucking Vin Diesel. And like, I loathe fucking Vin Diesel. Like, I'll tell you right now, I think the guy sucks. Everything he says sounds weird and fucking creepy. And he's just like, he just looks like he's going to fucking squeeze your butt cheeks and rape you. Like, I just get that vibe every time he speaks. Can't stand that guy at all. So I get it.
I get Pitch Black.
Yeah, I never watched it, but I just hate Vin Diesel so fucking much. Mark Wren says, yo, Jay, let me borrow a bottle at your stash cabinet.
You know what's funny about that is, Mark, your profile picture, it like literally the way it looks actually looks like somebody that would ask me that. Like if I had to go to jail for the night, you look like a guy that I would meet in the DUI drunk tank. Like, Joe, let me have your shirt, dog.
You gonna finish that corn dog?
I'm like, nah. I'm like, let me have them sneakers. What them, Adidas? Them look about my size, dog. Take them off or I shake your ass and make you eat my shit. Like, no.
This bologna ain't even fried.
No. Yeah, you can borrow whatever. I don't have a stash, but okay.
Rambling Movie Takes. Thanks, buddy. He says, can Lubas give me advice on how to get over an ex who left me for her ex-husband? Ew. Sorry to be negative, but I could use the pick-me-up.
Okay.
Missed eye guys.
Can Loomis give me advice on how to get over an ex?
Twisted Firestarter.
Here's how you do it. There's an app, and it's called, I don't know, Tinder Chinder or some shit. I don't know what it's called. You get out there and you find a connection. Or you know what? How about this? You improve yourself and you move on. Obviously, this person's a piece of shit. They're not worth your time, your effort, or your thoughts. They're a turd floating in the toilet and no one has flushed down. You're not worth. Don't give them time. Don't give them energy. Pick yourself up by your bootstraps and get to work on yourself. Okay? Because the first thing you need to do and realize when you look in that mirror, you say, fuck yeah, I'm all right. No problem. Somebody leaves me, they had a small wiener or a small vagina, ugly vagina, whatever. Obviously, this person is wholeheartedly and without a doubt the biggest black hole of skank in all of the Western world. So no need to worry. You'll find someone else. Now move on with your life. Don't ask me these stupid questions.
The Jay Sloan, thanks, buddy, says, sup, gentlemen. Bummed out I missed the last beer chug. I feel like the next time a new champ will be crowned, us Kentucky boys can drink. I was wondering, what's your best and worst movie-going experience? By the way, the beer chug on the Patreon stream Saturday night was fucking legendary. Holy shit. That dude took that thing down.
Yeah, yeah. Like, we're not talking about a big giant Jaws cock. We're talking about the beer. But the guy that did that Jaws thing, Kelly, Fabulous Kelly from Clerks 2. Ooh-wee, she took that donkey dick like no one else. Or he did. Yeah, that was fun, but I can't drink at all. Like that's always I can't.
You gave it a good effort this time, though.
I tried. Yeah, I did. I let that beer pour down my chin and everything. It was just awful.
Someone farted afterwards. It was great.
Yeah, it was loud too.
Yeah, but Jay Sloan says, I was wondering what your best and worst movie going experience is. I'm going to throw real fast. I'll do this. And I promise, guys, we're about to get to the news. But my worst was one of the Saw movies. Me and my wife were there, and this crackhead and his girlfriend were in front of us, and they literally lit up a cigarette in the theater and were smoking it, which fucking whatever. I smoke sometimes. It doesn't bother me. But I'm pretty sure that there was they were like jerking each other off and like touching each other and shit and like making all these weird goddamn noises. And they're meth heads if I've ever seen them. And then after all this happens, the dude pops up and he leans over and he puts his fucking tub of popcorn in my face and goes, "You want some popcorn?" And I was fucking, I'm so awkward. I ate it. I went, "Thanks."
You're nasty, dude. You probably just got a handful of cummy butter popcorn.
I don't know what possessed me. I immediately went,
that popcorn had jizz in it.
I was like, "Take it back." Katie was like,
he probably told his crackhead girlfriend, he's like, and her name was probably like Felicia or something. He's like,
yeah,
I just jizzed in this popcorn. He just like ate it. He ate my cum. He ate my cum. And then they were back there like sucking each other's dirty herpy genitals off. I don't really.
Best though, I'll say the time I got jerked off during the Patriot. All right.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. Mine's not going to be any, like I never had any sexual experience. I never got lucky. Well, his name was Ted, but we just kissed. I had the worst experience I had, and it wasn't because of anybody in the audience. It was because of my own dumbass self, because I thought The Ring was going to be a cheap ass, non-scared, fly by night, idiotic movie that I could just sit through. So on my first dates with this nasty thing that I wish I could throw away into the garbage can. But anyway, it was a first date with her, and I was trying to impress, and I said, "Hey, we'll go see a horror movie," because horror movies are supposed to like get them in their mood or whatever. And little did I know this was going to make my asshole fall out and turds would roll down my leg. It was The Ring. And I remember watching it in theater and just being blown away in the first 25 minutes of how fucking scary it was and surreal, and the imagery. I'd never seen anything like it on the big screen. So I was like, I felt like that was the first time I had an out-of-body experience. Like I was literally trying to escape my body to go somewhere else so I didn't have to be there, or I try to create a new personality to deal with this, so I could hide inside like Mark Spector, the Moon Knight. And that was probably my worst because I was trying to look down, like I didn't want to look at the screen, so I was like looking down like this, and then she'd be like, "What's wrong? Like, what's?" I was like, "This movie sucks. It's not even scary." But I had to keep like looking like this at the screen. That's how I do things when it's scary. I'm like, ooh, and my eyes hurt afterwards. And then my best experience was my best experience was probably going to see Avengers. It was me, Mike, and some other people, and that very end scene when they were doing this, the heroic music comes on, and Iron Man, Thor, Captain America, the Hulk, and they do that circle view,
Yeah.
and everybody stood up and cheered. That was fucking awesome. That was really cool.
Yeah, that was one of the top. It's the first thing that actually came to my head. And by the way, I was kidding about the Patriot thing. My favorite's actually the first time I took my girls to a movie theater, because as a movie person, you're like,
yeah,
sharing that with them. It's like, holy shit, this is my fucking life. And they're like, that's cool, man. Can I have some more snacks or what? But it's still great.
Can I get some? Can I get my juju beans? You've been hoarding them, bitch.
I got gum on my seat.
Gum.
Danny Darby, thank you, buddy. He says, Sup, Chodes, long-time listener. Have you guys seen the trailer for Don't Worry, Darling? Looks super creepy. Thanks for all the laughs through the years. I watched it, and it reminded me a lot of that piece of shit. Not that it looks bad, but it reminded me. So, what's that movie that we saw with Dane DeHaan where he gets like his teeth pulled out and shit? You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
It had
I know what you're talking about.
Timothy Dalton in it.
No, I know what you're talking about. I can't remember. That was gross as fuck, though. I remember that.
Yeah, it reminded me of that.
That was the shit. That was that weird. Yeah, that was that weird one.
Yeah, it reminded me of that a lot. But I'm not a Harry Styles guy. I just feel bad for Ted Lasso because he lost his wife. So fuck them for that. But I will say that Olivia Wilde directed a movie called Drinking Buddies, and if you haven't got a chance to see it, it's a really good indie film. So I'm sure she's going to do great, and it looks
I like good. Don't Worry, Darling, because that's what I say to my wife now when I say don't worry about it. You're just take Valtrex.
Don't worry, darling. You'll finish next time.
It's just herpes. It's not a big deal. If you act like you can't, you'll die from it. By the way, I was going to tell you, I know that's offensive. It's just a joke. But by the way, I was going to tell you, dude, you're talking about offensive. This guy's going to go to hell, but it's the most genius thing I've ever seen in my life or I've heard of. This dude put up on YouTube, dude. He put 24 hours. He just did a video. It was 24 hours of a black screen and there's no sound. And he's got like 338,000. And I mean, definitely this guy's going to hell. But he said a day in the life of Helen Keller. And he literally recorded 24 hours of just black and like no sound.
What a fucking cunt.
And he got like $338,000, but I gotta respect the hustle. I was like, he didn't give one fuck. He was like, yeah, I just thought it'd be a funny title. I put up a blank screen for 24 hours.
That's fucked up, dude. That's fucked up, man. That's what I say.
Yeah, I just laugh at the fun. I just laugh at the extreme. It was meant to be. It was funny. It was a joke, but I mean, it was just people were. But it was like it literally said, "I'm going to hell for this," and that's how he titled it. He said, "A day in the life of fucking Helen Keller." It's just something even like, "Shush, girl, shut your lips, do the Helen Keller, and talk with your hips." It's the same thing.
If you're offended by that, if you're offended by that, you probably also listen to Eminem. So calm down, because I'm sure
people that are offended by that is like shit and spin, dude.
Way worse jokes. Yeah. Danny, extra shout out for calling us chodes.
I like that.
Yeah, Jake Blair, thanks, buddy. He says, just went to Texas Frightmare weekend, met Nev, Matt, Jamie, and Skeet from Scream, Heather Langenkamp, and Dick Warlock. Thought it was cool to share. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
dude.
Jake, thanks so much. I mean, you're not bragging or anything. We really appreciate you showing us and telling us things that we'll never get to do. That's awesome. Not a big deal.
Hey, no big deal, dude. But let me know how the bankruptcy goes after you pay for all that shit.
Oh shit, dude. Yeah. So I had to check out like that, Jake. That's when I got back.
No, that's awesome, dude. Like I saw people's pictures from there, and it looked like a fucking blast. I wish we could have gone, but Texas is really far away from us.
Yeah, it really is. But I mean, that would be great to meet them all. But I'd be like, can I meet you for free? I would just stalk them around when they went to the bathroom. Yeah. And then I would just meet them in the bathroom and be like, oh yeah, I met fucking Matthew Lillard. He was taking a pee-pee.
I can't bring myself to pay for an autograph at a convention. And I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I'm just a fucked up person. Like I won't. I was telling somebody this the other day. I I mentioned looking for the Halloween 3 VHS, and someone sent me a link to it on eBay, and I'm like, I can't buy VHSs from there. I have to find the VHS in the wild, you know, at like a flea market or something, or else it doesn't feel real. I feel the same way about celebrity autographs. If I pay, and I no judgment because I know people love this, but if I just can't bring myself to pay for the autograph because it doesn't feel like it has to be happenstance or it's not fun for me. You know?
Yeah,
So,
I mean, you know, and I think pricing matters, and I think that sometimes certain celebrities will charge outrageous prices for just their signature, and I think it's kind of corny and bullshit. You know, I think a fair, and I'm just saying, I mean, even $40 is a lot, and I know it's taking their time, you know, and they have to be there and they have to make some money, but they're already getting paid usually by the convention to be there, especially if they're a bigger named actor. They're already getting paid for their time. They're getting put up at a hotel. They're getting their meals paid for. So they're already getting a chunk of money. So I really don't see why you would go the extra mile and exploit your fans. And I'm not saying they're exploiting, but I think that there are certain celebrities out there that's what they do. They charge like an exuberant amount of money just to get their autograph. If it's like $150 fucking dollars for their autograph, like, bitch, it's your signature that you sign every day on those child support payments that you're missing. So I know what you're talking
about. You're talking about when you go to a fucking Comic Con and some guy from Power Rangers Megaforce.com, Gorilla Force /.net,
that's the best
who was
one.
a yellow ranger in some fucking Power Rangers spinoff is charging $60 and $80 for his fucking picture. I'm like, get the fuck out of here, dude. Come on.
For what, bitch? Isn't that your fucking paycheck for the whole series? $60? No way, dude. But no,
sometimes
I mean, you know, poor power people,
the big ones though.
Yeah, I know we're not insulting anybody that goes out and collects those autographs. I mean, that's cool, man. If you get those autographs and you got the money to burn, it's cool. I just feel like it's a cheap practice when certain celebrities do that, when they obviously don't need the money, and it's just like, you know, you know what? I'll go ahead and name them, one of them anyway, because we'll never have him on the show anyway, and I don't care if he's on the show. Is William Shatner. William Shatner charges an exuberant amount of money to take his picture, you know, his fat ass from Star Trek. And I like William Shatner, by the way, but to take his picture, and he's always grumpy looking, and he's got in his autograph. I just feel like that's such a shit in your mouth as a fan. You know, to go meet the guy that you grew up with, or somebody that really means something to you, and a character that is beloved to you, that they're going to be like, $98,000 for my time.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, can you fucking smile for the picture that I just paid $98,000 for? No.
Yeah. No, those people.
I've heard good and bad things about him. I've heard he's decent. And yes, we all are human, and he's had bad days, I'm sure. But consistently, I've heard he's a bad dude, like, or not bad dude, like he's not very friendly or approachable, or that he scribbles his signature and then you're gone. But I get it. You know, he's been there for hours on end, but dude, someone's paying their money and they want to see you. I just feel like I'd be honored to, even if it was 12 fucking hours, I'd be like, yeah, man, I'm happy to fucking do it.
Yeah, exactly. And like you said, you're talking about like the William Shatners of the world who have millions of dollars. And I don't know what anybody has, but like the fact that the Screamcast gets together and does it and gets to meet all his fans, that shit's fucking awesome. All the lower tier people, like not them, they're not lower tier, but like a lot of the people that do it, you totally get why they do it. But there's always people like that you're like, oh, fuck off. Come on, man. You're charging more than everybody else here when you clearly have more that you don't need to. Yeah.
Yeah, and you're making residuals. You're making residuals off of something like Star Trek, dude. You're making shit tons of money, and you get speaking gigs and all sorts of stuff. By the way, I think the most transparent celebrity I ever saw that talked about the money and how grateful they were, though, was Matthew Lillard. Surprisingly, I watched this Scream thing that he did with Skeet Ulrich, and they were walking around, they were answering questions, stuff. It was very relaxed. And he was talking about, he just said, I want to say thank you to everybody here, because honest to God, there are times that you guys literally put food on the table. That's why a lot of people come out and do these conventions, because they need some money, you know, because he's like, listen, you get a lot of money for a movie that you make, but you might not work for 6 months or a year. And you don't get that money coming in anymore, and you have kids. So you have to do this. And it was very transparent. It was very honest and very open. And he didn't charge, and I'm sure he didn't charge like a ridiculous amount of money, but just enough, you know, to justify being there or whatever. But yeah, and he also pointed out a really good thing. He's like, just because you're a more on screen, if you look like you're in the TV or on the TV all the time, does not equate with wealth. Meaning that, hey, you might see my Scream movie, or you might see SLC Punk or whatever, but that doesn't mean I'm a multimillionaire living in a Johnny Depp mansion.
Right. Yeah.
So those guys are like, I'm cool with that, but other ones I'm like, fuck you.
Yeah, no, I'm totally with you, dude. Tyler Rumfeld, thank you, buddy. He says it's really hard. Yes, it is to play Dead Island and listen to you guys at the same time. But mark my words, I'm getting 2 birds stoned at once tonight.
I like how you said that, and I appreciate your efforts.
He's smoking the Chiba. Get him and arrest him, sir. I'm calling the police on you right now.
Tyler, in that picture, is that you? Because you look like you smoked 3 giggle bushes and you took a picture somewhere. You don't even know where you were when you took that.
Tyler, we're going to call the cops. As soon as we take our first pee break, we are calling the cops on you tonight. I just want you to know that.
No, we're not. I don't know you.
I'm going to. I'm going to tell them where you are and that you have pot and that you're high. It's disgusting. You could get addicted. Okay?
Yeah. Ridiculous.
Don't judge me. I want to keep this neighborhood fucking safe. All right. Okay. So
I got to go pee now. I really do. We got 10 minutes.
All right. Go pee.
You want to wait? Oh, we can wait for the hour. Mark.
No, just go pee. No, you're good. And then we'll actually get into the news that we promised once we're done taking our pee breaks because we talk too much. Sorry, guys.
I think people enjoy it. I think that I like to have a little bit of dialogue with peeps.
Yeah. No, I love it. I'm just saying we talk too much, so I feel bad.
It's true. All right.
I'm not
it's because our wives don't pay attention.
I'm talking about us. Yeah, we need love and affection.
Yeah.
To go pee.
All right, I'll be back.
Don't forget to film it for me and save it because I want to drink it. Anyway, he didn't hear me. Now I feel really awkward. TGZ. Thanks, buddy. Says, love me some Wham. You guys always make my day better and keep it coming. PS, H6 is amazing and underrated. Top 5 for sure. Fucking thank you, dude. Thank you, dude. You're fucking right. Halloween 6 don't get no goddamn respect at all, especially from Rotten Tomatoes, who we're going to talk about in a second. And by the way, when we both get done with our PP time, we're going to take a look at what the critics said about Rotten Tomatoes. And that's always a fun time because Jay gets super fucking angry and we all laugh at how angry he gets at the Rotten Tomatoes people. And, a lot of times rightfully so. So we're going to do that. And then we have Halloween Ends news that we are going to talk about. I promise you this. So hold tight and squeeze your titties for me, TJ. Love you, man, and thank you for that, and thank you for the kind words about Halloween 6, an underrated classic. I won't go that far, but fuck do I love it. I can't say it's good. I can't call it a good film, but I can say that I love it deeply into my heart, and I enjoy watching it. And it's one of my most rewatched Halloween movies, and it gets no goddamn love. None at all. Alan Martinez, thank you, my friend, says, what's up, fellas? Do you think you could take over the role of Freddy? And who do you think could take over the role of Freddy in future Nightmare on Elm Street movies? The original is my favorite movie of all time. Alan, we did a video a while back that we dreamcasted the entire fucking movie. And we put like all sorts of people in there, like Benedict Cumberbatch, I think was one of them. Kevin Bacon, somebody that Jay and I would both like to see. And I'll ask him when he gets back as well. But, if I could have my druthers of anybody, I would like for it to be an unknown. I think Robert Englund was an unknown. I think you find an unknown, and that's scarier to me. If you're looking for fucking Johnny Depp's face or whatever under a bunch of makeup, you're just thinking, hey, that's Johnny Depp or whoever. But if you bring an unknown in, that can make it scarier. You just kind of pick the right fucking guy. And also, those guys need jobs too, Craig. Fat bitches need love too, Craig. You know what I mean? So I'd love to see that. I don't want to ruin my words if someone comes in new and they suck balls, and that's not fun to talk about. But also, I don't know, just some actors that don't get enough love, like Lee Pace to me, I think would rule as either Pinhead or Freddy Krueger. I think both of those would be dope as shit. But yeah, that's my boring ass answer to that question. I'll ask Jay when he comes back too. I think I'll bet you $10 he says Kevin Bacon though. Because I do love that idea. And people aren't going to like this, but I actually don't think Robert Englund should come back. If Robert Englund comes back, he should only do one. But if you're like, we've waited so fucking long for a Nightmare movie. I mean, we know for a fact Robert Englund's not doing 2 or 3 movies. He's just not going to do it. But be it age, be it the makeup, he doesn't want to sit in that fucking makeup chair for 3 hours. We know that's not going to happen, right? So, I just think that if he comes back for one movie and then the franchise has to start all over again, they've got to come up with a new idea, a new script. At least with this iteration of Michael Myers, depending on how you feel about it, we got 3 movies out of it because they had the same creative team in place. There was no hiccups. You always got to worry about, is the financing going to drop out? Is the fucking studio going to fuck up? Is it going to get delayed? Whatever. But if you get the same team that's doing it and coming back and really telling a cohesive story, you won't have these problems that you had with the later sequels for Nightmare back in the day, where like Halloween 5, where fucking French ass fucking Dominique Othello Gerard just comes to say, I put the man in black and don't care what happens next. And then the whole franchise is fucked because they have to explain that in the continuity. I say bring in a whole cast that can continue to make movies. So, I mean, if you can get one fucking Nightmare movie, why don't we go for fucking 5? You know what I mean? Let's do it all over again if we're going to fucking do it. You bring back Robert Englund, you do one goddamn movie, and then you're right back where you fucking were. They did that with the remake, especially if it sucks. Imagine if it's not good. Then you're real fucked. We may never see Freddy again. So I know it's an unpopular opinion, but I actually would like to see somebody new in that role. Robert Englund has done his time, and he's given us a great performance, but he can't do it forever. So that's just my opinion. As unpopular as it might be. Michael Parton, thanks, buddy. Says the numbers for Doctor Strange is 79% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is pretty good. That is pretty good, Michael. And we're going to take a deep look at some of the reviews and the blurbs to see what they said and see what I've already seen some that I think are stupid as fucking shit. You know, I've seen some that are like, it's Tuesday and Raimi. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, why do you want the same shit slopped on your fucking plate and fed to you like we're one of those idiot fat people in Wall-E, just like drinking out of your fucking straw? Like, don't you want a director's vision? Don't you want something different? Or you just want a cloned fucking Marvel experience over and over and over again? You know, I've already seen something that pissed me off. That's when I was like, oh, it'll be fun to do this for sure. It will be. Hey.
Hi.
You were touching your wiener.
I was just making sure that big dick was rolled back up.
The
fire hose was unrolled.
Hey, Alan Martinez asked a good question. He wants to know who we think should play Freddy in future Nightmare on Elm Street movies, and I'll be right back.
That's a hard wiener of a question right there, sir. I wasn't expecting to touch that doorstop tonight, but Freddy Krueger, you know, that's a really good question because there's so many good actors that could do that role justice. And I'm just going to go ahead off the top of my head because I picked this particular actor for if they ever, did another relaunch. I know they're doing a Pinhead movie or a Hellraiser reboot. But I would have picked Lee Pace to be Pinhead, but I could see Lee Pace doing Freddy Krueger as well. I think that he would be a pretty good Freddy Krueger. Jared Leto, surprisingly, I think Jared Leto is weird enough and fucked up enough. I think he could pull off a decent, but he's also pretty, so that's a problem. He's a pretty boy. He's a pretty boy, and he lives out in the desert, but that kind of makes him more weirder. So yeah, I mean, Jared Leto might be able to pull off you know what? I'm gonna go with it. I'm gonna go with my testicles here, and I'm gonna go ahead and say Jared Leto. I think Jared Leto. I would give him a chance on some Nightmare. I would give him a chance. I feel like I think he's owed one. I mean, Jared Leto hasn't. I mean, I loved him in the Nick Cage movie, Lord of War. I thought he was excellent in that movie. I thought he was really good. And I loved him in Dallas Buyers Club. And yes, this would be a huge step for him to take on this role, but I think he could pull it off. And then, ultimately, though, I think the dream was Kevin Bacon. I think Kevin Bacon looks like, not like looks like Robert Englund, but he has the same kind of profile as Robert Englund. I think that Kevin Bacon could do it. Mega says Leto can play a villain, but needs good material. I agree with that 100%. I think that Leto is extremely underrated in terms of acting ability. I think a lot of people are, and again, it's not their fault. I mean, not everybody has saw every movie that Jared Leto has been in, but Jared Leto was very, very good in Dallas Buyers Club as well as Lord of the War. And I think that, you got to blame directors and writers and how they present certain scenes, and they have the actors portray those scenes in that way. You could be the best actor in the world, but sometimes it's really hard to play, a character in a turd script. It's just the reality of it. Bacon Jr. says Colin Farrell could pull off Freddy. Yeah, I could go with that. Mike Johnston says Kevin Bacon would be creepy as Freddy. I agree with that one. Yeah, I definitely think that I think that Kevin Bacon would be, that's 100% if I had control at all in the studio over who they would cast as Freddy Krueger, I would go with Kevin Bacon. I just feel like Kevin Bacon, look, he's already an established actor. He knows he's got good range. He knows how to play a villain. I mean, aka Hollow Man. He did a great job in that, as well as in Sleepers. I think he could pull it off. I feel very strongly that Kevin Bacon could pull off. I would do a trilogy, much like they're doing with Halloween. I would do a trilogy around Nightmare. I would end it with Dream Warriors, or at least something akin to Dream Warriors, and have Kevin Bacon portray the part of Freddy Krueger and do a 3-picture deal and start from there. I think it would be really cool. I think it would be amazing. Megalomaniac says, Jay, which character do you relate to? I'm going to answer that question, Megalomaniacs, but Slasher and Sue says Jared Leto would literally live in a boiler room. Yes, he would. He would live in a boiler room, and he would make fake knives for fingers, like out of butter knives or something. Jay, which character do you relate to? The thing is, Megalomaniacs, I would answer that question. I don't know which character, like specific character you're talking about, like a comic series, a comic book movie, a horror villain. I'll answer that question for you, though, as soon as I know specifically what you want me to answer. K Ballard 27, that's an interesting choice. Daniel Radcliffe. Maybe I could. Daniel Radcliffe is a good actor, but it's really he's still in that stage that's hard to separate, for me anyway, from the Harry Potter thing. And I'm not saying he can't do it. Obviously, I think Robert Pattinson was an incredible Batman, and he did such a great job with it. And he separated from the glittery bullshit of the vampire stories that he was a part of. But I don't know about, and I just thought about it. What about Elijah Wood? I think Elijah Wood could pull off a really good Freddy Krueger, to be honest with you. He's got that childlike bullshit. Like he's kind of creepy too. He's kind of got a weird kind of sense about him, especially in Sin City. If you watched him in Sin City, the way that he that he portrays that character, if he translated that and acted like this creepy, weird standoff, I don't know. Xshin says, hi Jay, I'm on a diet. Congratulations. I hope your diet goes well with you. I hope everything works well and you lose all the weight that you want to lose. Xshin. John Smith. Yeah, I forgot about. Yeah, Elijah Wood is amazing in the Maniac remake. 100%. I forgot about that. Maniac is a really good movie. Tyler Rumpel's Carrot Top is Freddy. Yeah, if you want to throw up every time he's on screen, that's 100% the choice I'd go with right there. Holy fuck. Megaloman, a horror villain. Okay. The most horror villain I relate to, I don't know if this is really digging in too much into my psyche about like, are you fucked up or is this okay? I think the most the horror villain that I would say that I like the most, that I think is a cool villain, is it would be Pinhead. I think that Pinhead is the most underused of all the iconic villains as far as like giant cinema movies. I think that he's the scariest villain that they've not really tapped into yet. So I would say Pinhead. I think Pinhead is extremely fucking frightening. And I kind of relate to him, I guess. I mean, it's like, yeah, I got sent to hell because I opened a box up and now I'm all about BDSM. So fuck you. I'm going to take you and torture you in hell. Yeah.
Sounds like you.
Pretty much that. That's the life right there. Yeah. If I go down, we all going down, motherfucker.
All right. One more super chat. And then I'll tell you what we'll do, guys. We'll do the Halloween ends news first, because I know y'all been waiting for a while for the Halloween stuff. And we'll do that next. And then we'll do the Doctor Strange stuff. John goes to. I don't know why, but I like that.
Where?
Thanks, dude. He says, where you fucking going, John? Trying to suck any dick on the way to the park.
37?
My girlfriend sucked 37 dicks. I know it's early, but are y'all doing Scarefest this year? Missed last, but we'll try this year since I'm in Nashville area. All signs point to yes, my friend. It looks like we're going to have a booth yet again at Scarefest. Not going to do the whole meetup at Scarefest. That's going to be something else entirely, but we will. We probably, I can't say 100% for sure yet, but I think that we will be at Scarefest this year, my friend.
Yeah, and we'll definitely use the mannequin again with the Michael Myers mask on it, so more people come up to our booth, not because they're fans of the channel, just because they want to take pictures with the mannequin.
That shit was so funny, dude.
That was about 80 I would say that was about 80% last year. It was more people coming up and be like, yeah, I don't know who the fuck you are. Is this shit free? Because we had pictures and stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna take that. Can I get a picture with the mannequin? Yeah, you can. Can you guys move? There's the worst I do. I was so embarrassed. I tried to stand and take a picture with somebody, and they're like I was like, Jay, they don't want to take a picture with you. It's just the mannequin. I'm like, I knew that. I was just making sure his trousers were pulled up.
I only knew because I was the dumbass that did it first. I went to stand up, and they were like, "Can I?" I was like, "Oh, just you went, just okay."
Yeah, I didn't hear Mike, and Mike went to the other side of the table, and then I was sitting there like with my arm out, like, "Come on," and they're like, "Nah," and I'm like, "Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I didn't want your picture with you anyway."
It was funny too. On the way out, when I unloaded, I went back the next day to get all our shit. So I'm carrying full size Michael out, like the mannequin out. You know, I'm walking out and I like got a bunch of shit. I'm like clanging into doors and shit. And this mom walks up to me with her kids and she's like, "Hey, do you sell Michael Myers masks?" And I was like, "No, I was just here." And she was like, "Oh," she's like, "because the convention's closed, they won't let me in." And she's like, "Halloween's like next week, and my son wants to be Michael Myers." And I was like, "Give me your number." And I ended up actually like I gave the mask, one of the extra ones we had, I gave it to Katie, and the lady actually drove to Katie's work, and Katie gave it to her, so the kid could have one or whatever, which was fun because we got to give a kid, you know, he was going to find one anywhere else. But the funny thing about it is that she was like, so she was texting me trying to figure out, because I was like, I got to make sure I have it first. She's texting me and she's like, "So what is it you all, I don't understand. What do? You don't sell these?" I'm like, "No." It's like, "We're a YouTube channel." And she's like, "Oh, what's the name of it? I'll have him watch it." I was like, no, don't do that. He won't enjoy it. She's like, "Well, I mean,
this will not be over quickly, and you will not enjoy this."
She's like, "I'm not like a crazy Christian or anything." I like, "No, it's pretty fucking disgusting." She's like, "Oh, okay." I was like, "Here's the mask." She's like, "How much do you want for it?" Like, "Nothing." She's like, "Okay."
Yeah,
she probably thought it was like porn or something the way I reacted, though.
Yeah, like later, I will come to collect a favor from you. You won't know when, but I will come to collect a favor. You're like, "Oh, is that how we work things out?" But no, yeah, it's hard to explain when you're asked, "What do you do?" I'm like, I was like, because they're like, I just was like blogger. Because I don't know. I mean, I said, I think I was to a dentist not long ago, and they were like, "What do you do?" I'm like, "I'm on YouTube," and they're like, "Oh, do you help run YouTube, or are you a YouTuber?" I'm like, "Well, the way you said it, I don't want to respond either way, but I'm a YouTuber." And they're like, "Oh, that's fun. What do you do?" I'm like, "Just sketches and like movie reviews and things like that." I'm like, "Oh, cool. What was your channel?" I was like, "I forgot."
I guess you could say
I thought, because I didn't want her to look. I don't like promote it. Like, I was like, "Yeah, I don't." She's like, "What's the name of it?" I was like, "I don't know. I forgot." I was like, "I have a card somewhere. I just forgot what it was."
Yeah, I never answer that honestly. I'm always like, I work in media, you know, because if you tell them you work in YouTube, then they want to know where it is, and they want to know like, "Oh, how do you make money? Like, you do this full time? What a fucking loser!" I was like, "Oh shit." But okay,
my wife. Is that a job? That's my job.
Michael Long, thanks, buddy. You have a sexy fucking mustache. I just want you to know that.
Nice.
Thank you very much for the sweet super chat. It says, "Hello, YouTube beautiful souls. It's a rare occasion that I can catch a live stream. Through the last few years, this channel has helped me through some really hard times. Just want to say thank you while I have the chance, man. Thank you."
Hey, thanks, Michael. That's really nice of you. We appreciate it. You guys have helped us as much as we've helped you. That's for sure.
Trust me.
And I like you, and I like your profile picture, dude. You look like you're getting ready to go in and do some fucking work in Jarhead Part 2. Like, you look like that dude. Like, you look like that dude that's seen some combat, and you're gonna fucking get people through it. But that's a really nice thing for you. I can't take compliments, dude. It's all weird when somebody even like, I can't take them. I just react to fucking. That's my defensive technique.
Yeah, man. He does look like a guy though. If there was a zombie invasion, I'd be like, I'm following that fucking guy. He's gonna get us.
You know what kind of reminds me? It kind of reminds me of Bert from Tremors. You know, the badass guy that has all the guns,
like a prequel Bert. Yeah,
cool Bert. Yeah, but Bert's cool anyway. Bert's cool at Tremors.
Very sweety, man. Thank you. Okay, so. And by the way, if we missed anyone's super chat, scream it, put it in all caps at the bottom, and I'll go back.
We'll never get back to it.
I think we got them all though. But all right, first off, now we actually doing the Halloween news real quick here. we usually just spray in the news. There's some outlets out there that try to act like they break news, but really they're just spraying it. They're reporting on what was been reported, which is the same exact thing that we do typically. We just try to put a comedic and fun spin on it. Today, though, I'm actually pleased to announce that we broke the tiniest nugget of news on our own.
What did we
which
say?
Is very, very fucking exciting, Jay.
When the fuck did we get ice cream?
When the fuck did we get ice cream?
I don't know about this.
But it's pretty cool. So as you guys know, we had both the Halloween novel writers on our show for interviews at different points, Tim Wagner and John Passarella, that did interviews with us. Now I'm looking online here, and
they didn't credit us though, did they?
What? No. Well, it's not that. Nobody. It's not what you're thinking.
Well, then I don't want to hear about it.
Listen to me. So Tim Wagner, the writer of Halloween Kills, lovely person, posted this post about pizza, and he was like, "Hey, y'all gotta try this Bands of fucking chickpea pizza, bros. You gotta try it."
What is that? Chickpeas?
Yeah, it's made from chickpeas. So his wife's allergic to flour and wheat. He's diabetic. It's got to cut the carbs. Cool. And it's a piece they can both eat, So it's a very nice post. And me being the asshole I am, I was like, "Hey, Tim, if she's not eating with you, the Quest low carb pizza is tasty too." Because it is. It's delicious. It's like $9 for the small pizza. But if you're on a low carb, you can have pizza too. Anyways, I want to say also, any word on if you're doing the Halloween Ends novel?
You're a bastard, dude. That's like that's such a politician way. I'm like, how's your wife doing? Is she doing good? Did the operation go well? By the way, who are you voting for next Sunday?
It's a dick move, but I figured, hey, maybe he'll answer me. And he did. He said the filmmakers told Titan, which I guess is the publisher, that they wanted two other writers to do the novelization. So Titan had to go with them. I don't know who they are. So there's two pieces of news there. A, we're definitely getting a Halloween Ends novelization. And B, it's going to be two new people. It's not going to be either Passarella or Tim Wagner that's going to be doing it. So that's kind of,
I like how
they
you
both
said
fucking killed it.
That sucks, Mark Beer says. It's like, sorry to hear that, Tim. Really enjoy yours. Thanks for the info. And there was no hearts.
Nobody.
Shit.
Well, Mark's theirs because I liked it. That's why that heart showed
is that
up.
what that means? The highlighted red, but it was like nobody. He was like, "Yeah, you try to dig information on me, you little nugget asshole."
But that's it sucks that he's not gonna get to do it again because the Halloween Kills novel, I'm still working my way through it because I'm trying to build up this, like, I'm gonna do all the differences between that and Kills or whatever, but it's really fucking good, dude. Like, he added a lot of awesome layers.
Well, maybe they got Stephen King to write the novelization.
He said it's gonna be two people writing it, so I wonder how that's gonna work. You know what I mean? Like, that's gonna be weird, but anyway, so
that just sounds like a lazy author. I'm gonna take half, you take the other half. It's like, dude, it's only gonna be like 250 pages. Like, dude, I'm not doing that. I'll take 125 pages, you do the other 125.
And I guess the filmmakers are being Blumhouse. I guess they decided, hey, I want these two specifically to do it. So we are getting another Halloween novelization, which isn't a surprise, but now we know that we're getting one. But also, that's not the only news. So this one comes from Reddit. Okay, we were talking about Reddit earlier.
Mm-hmm.
It says spoilers. Look, I'm gonna say this right now before you guys click off. I don't see any of this shit as a spoiler. Okay, I don't personally. If
that's
you're
your opinion, Dick. Don't do it.
If you're really worried about spoilers, okay, I don't want to ruin anything for you, but I really don't consider this a spoiler, and it's nothing that we know for sure. It just ties into a theme. So just to warn you, I don't want to fuck with anybody.
For you, I don't care. But there could be others out there be like, dude, what the fuck?
Yeah. So if that's the case, like, click off for 5 minutes and come back and we'll do other shit. I see people dropping already. I'd rather do that than ruin anything for anybody. Personally, I don't see this as a spoiler at all. And I'm very, very aware of, like, spoilers myself. So, okay. This person posted, by the way, this article comes from an article that's like months old. It's from like November, from Murphy's Multiverse is where this article was sourced from. So it's nothing new.
I can already hear the hate in comments right now.
There's something very, very interesting. It says the cast and call characters, Halloween Ends, possible spoilers. So this is just the cast of, this came from Murphy's Multiverse, this list did, and it was posted by, to give you your credit where it's due, Valistrata on Reddit. Found it. I asked below, I said, hey, where'd this list come from? They referred me to Murphy's Multiverse, where it was. And when you go to look at it, it's very interesting. And here's the interesting thing about it. There's nothing new that we don't know on there, but fuck you, ad, shut up.
What's the ad for?
I don't know. Maybe it's some nice shoes or something that we can,
I wanted to see it.
really get into. Okay, I don't know where it is on there, but anyways. So the interesting thing on here, though, the only really thing that's really noteworthy that we haven't talked about it is a character called Proprietor. You see here, Proprietor.
Yeah.
This is the second, and it's very
80?
small. Yeah, between the ages of 40 and 80.
Mm.
It's a very, very, very small hint, but it's the second small hint that we've gotten that there is a chance that they're going to be using Dennis Etchison's Halloween 4 script in some fashion for this movie. If you guys remember, we went and we did a whole breakdown of the Halloween 4 novel, or the Halloween 4 script that was written by Dennis Etchison that he didn't end up using. There was a picture posted a while ago that was supposedly a behind the scenes picture from Halloween Ends that shows a bunch of cars packed in tight together and smoke going around the area, and it was in black and white, and it looked like it could be a drive-in. And we talked about that before, how in Halloween 4 at the end of the movie, they're at a drive-in and Michael attacks these kids, and when he starts getting shot and shit, he starts to grow. He's actually like full fucking on supernatural. He actually grows to 12 feet tall and is eating bullets. It's a wild fucking strip.
Yeah, he becomes Shaq when he's mad. I don't want to see that.
I don't think they'll do that. I think that's too far. I don't think they'll ever do that in a million years.
That's so stupid. That sounds like an IRS agent.
But yeah, but to that point, yeah, Proprietor is the second tie-in to Dennis Etchison's script, because in that Halloween 4 script, there's a character called Proprietor. Okay, this character is there's a character who's there. I forgot her name, but she's there at a pumpkin patch, and the proprietor is the guy who owns the pumpkin patch, or is at least working at the pumpkin patch. And he's there.
Is it Ron Jeremy?
He's there. Owning. He's this older guy. He's drinking. He seems like a nasty kind of piece of shit. And he's like, "Why don't you go over and look at my pumpkins while I go over here to the liquor store and get me some more booze?" Right. Yeah. So the character starts walking through the pumpkin patch and is like picking up pumpkins. Right. And in this scene, not the proprietor, but the girl character is going through pumpkins, and she starts to accidentally knock over a bunch of them. And all of a sudden, now this town, by the way, was on the outskirts of Haddonfield. Haddonfield had canceled Halloween because of Michael Myers, but you had to drive to this town to get pumpkins because they wouldn't give you any in Haddonfield. And he even makes a joke about it. He's like, "Yeah, they don't know how to party anymore in Haddonfield," or whatever the fuck. So long story short, she's going
like an old Kevin Bacon from Footloose.
Yeah, pretty much. But and that, by the way, proprietor could just mean he owns a bar. You know, he's the proprietor of the establishment.
Yeah, that could be all it is. Yeah.
So this is sort of a reach, but I'm just saying it's worth noting. In that scene, she's picking pumpkins. The pumpkins start to fall. She's embarrassed. She tries to get away. And at the end, when she pulls off a pumpkin and they all start to fall, Michael Myers pops up out of the fucking pumpkins. He's hiding behind the goddamn pumpkins. And
James and the giant peach.
And he kills her. He kills her or whatever in that scene. And that's how the scene in the novel went. And I'll put the link if you guys want to check out our Halloween 4 novelization breakdown.
Yeah, you definitely investigated, man. I like you're like drawing like you're like Batmaning the fuck out of it. You're trying to be like, if Joker thought he could hide behind the proprietor, he's got another thing coming. I saw it coming from a mile away.
Somebody else. And I can't take credit for that, by the way. I'm actually not the one that put that 2 and 2 together. Someone in the comments, You've Seen the Butcher. I went back after I read this, and I went back to the script, and I found this article that they're talking about. But I can't take credit for thinking of that first. This You've Seen the Butcher said the proprietor stands out to me as that was the name of a character in Dennis Etchison's Halloween 4 script, who's also an older guy. Could be a coincidence though, and it very well
it's
might.
Fun. I mean, no, it's I think it's fun to speculate. Who the fuck knows? I mean, and there's no way to tell whether or not they're gonna draw from other sources, because that would make total sense if they draw from scripts that never made it to the big screen, because that's all owned by what is it? It's not Dimension. Well, is it Dimension? I don't know. I know Blum is. Yeah, but it's under that studio though. They're allowed to go in there and pull from whatever they want to pull from. So yeah, I mean, it's an interesting theory.
Now Jay Ryan says that that's a junkyard, not a drive-in. I can tell you from someone who worked on the set, so that could be a possibility as well. It just, but I'm sure Jay, you can understand what I'm looking at when you look at that picture. It looks like cars during a drive-in or junkyard. It could be either or. But
Jay Ryan, is that you in that picture though? You look like you're fucking modeling like goddamn Rolex watches.
Yeah, get the fuck out of here, Jay. We don't like people more.
No, look, he looks like he's looking off into the distance in the sun, and he's looking at his Rolex watch. But yeah,
yeah, he does.
Look at his face. But no, yeah. It's an interesting joke. I didn't know that. I didn't even remember that the proprietor. It does sound like a villain. It does sound. You know what? It sounds like the Man in Black from Halloween 5, like that with a little bit a more fleshed out story.
Yeah, and
if they go with that, but
yeah, it probably won't be. It probably won't be. But I'm just saying, there's two things there that are kind of that Halloween 4 script. So you can't overlook it.
Well, why did everybody leave? I thought you were gonna spoil like what Michael's like death scene.
I told you.
Or something.
No, I told you it's not actually. I said that. I was like, I don't see this as a spoiler.
Well, I know, but people heard spoiler and they're like, get the fuck out of here.
I know.
I trusted you.
Yeah, I guess, and I don't blame it all either. But actually, that's not all though. There's actually more Halloween news that does not cross spoiler territory whatsoever. I had to write this down because there's another thing I found today. Jamie Lee Curtis and Jordan Blum did a business conference. Like they did this interview
discussing her contract.
About their projects with Blumhouse, and it was a cock tease because at the end of it, the lady was like, I totally forgot the clip. I was going to show a clip of the movie that you guys showed at CinemaCon. Let me throw that up, and you see Jason Blum and Jamie Lee Curtis's face go, wait, you have what? You're going to show it? What the fuck? And then she plays the clip, and it's literally like a trailer for the 2018 Halloween, and they're like,
oh yeah.
Shoo.
Did they show? They haven't shown a new trailer for Halloween Ends yet, have they? No, they did. They did. We covered
CinemaCon.
it.
Yeah, at CinemaCon. Yeah. But a lot of people thought that's what they're about to show, so I was like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah, it's not ready. It's not ready.
Yeah, but they didn't. But they did bring up some news there. Just tiny little tidbits. Jason Blum confirmed that he hasn't seen it yet. So he hasn't even seen Halloween Ends yet. He said that he'll be watching it in about 2 weeks. Will be his first chance to watch it. So if you're going to get anything out of Jason Blum, it's going to be. Did I say Jordan Blum last time? I think I did.
I don't know.
It's going to be in about 2 weeks, his reaction. So we'll start to get that in. And then he also said, as far as what's going on in the future, you and I have talked about this a whole bunch. Hey, TV series makes sense at this point because it's either at the end of Halloween Ends, does Blumhouse still retain the rights? Does it go somewhere else? A TV series makes sense because if you don't want to wait 5 or 10 years for a new movie, that's a new story.
I think you have an in-between. You have an in-between opportunity to keep it fresh. But at the same time, I don't want to see a cinematic release necessarily of a new Halloween movie right away because I feel like they need some time to get a good script going. They need to, get some creative teams available and then tell a different Halloween movie after.
Right.
Because again, I look at Halloween 2018 to Halloween Ends in this particular aspect as the Dark Knight trilogy. If you look at Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy, it wasn't open-ended. It was a beginning and then an end, and it closed itself off, and that was it. He told the story of his Batman, and that was it.
Yeah. That's what
I feel like the same thing about Blumhouse, and I wanted to do that. And then what I wanted to do is wait a few years before we have a new Halloween, because if you rush out immediately, I don't want this to become another Saw or another Final Destination. And again, that can happen quick. And I don't think that's a smart idea, and I don't think they're going to do that. But a TV series, I did see some. There was some kickback, y'all, from that idea. They were like, "No, a TV series would be fucking stupid." I don't think so. What I think that you could do is there's a lot of opportunity to explore with different parts of Halloween in a TV series for like a Netflix or an HBO Max or whatever. In a way that you can't really do in a movie that's limited to 2 hours. So if you have a 7-episode, again, I'm not talking about doing seasons of Halloween. I don't want to see it. Just do like 7 to 8 episodes of one Halloween thing.
I want
just kind of keep the interest there. I think it'll be fine. But yeah.
I'd like to, and I've said this before, I'd like to see them do like a really long one, actually, like a 10 season thing where we start at the beginning. We don't tell a Laurie story again, but we throw in ties to all the other movies and you recanonize it for TV.
Yeah.
But I do think the TV series is a good idea because you can do it in a different way. And TV is not like it used to be. TV now, they put more money and effort into that than they do the fucking movies. So they could really do something special. For me, my only caveat is if you're going to do a TV series, it has got to be on one of the biggest, most open stream. If you put that shit on Stars, it's gonna fucking die and it's gonna hurt the franchise. If you put that shit on Peacock or like one of the lower like tier one, it's got to be on HBO Max, Netflix. I know they're not doing very well right now.
Amazon,
and Amazon, even some of those shows don't do great. But,
that's true. Yeah, that's true.
But anyways, Jason Blum, what he says here will actually hint a little bit further towards the TV series idea. But one more thing I want to say about that. If you do a TV series, A, we don't have to wait 5 years for more Michael Myers. B, you could do a TV series and then 5 years down the road, you can still get another Michael Myers movie. It doesn't have anything to fucking do with it, right? That's the perfect scenario in my eyes.
Well, no, go ahead.
I was just going to say, so what what he said was, and almost his exact words, I transcripted it myself, but he said, it's a trilogy, because they asked, what's the future? Like, what happens after this? He said, it's a trilogy. The rights revert to our friend Malik. What he does now, I'd be hard-pressed to believe at some point he won't look at those rights and think, but who knows? Maybe it'll be a TV show next. Who knows? But we are contracted for 3 movies, and this will be our last one. So just one more time, he said, it's a trilogy. The rights revert to our friend Malik Akkad from Trancas. What he does now, I'd be hard-pressed to believe at some point he won't look at those rights and think, but who knows? Maybe it'll be a TV show maybe it'll be a TV show next. Who knows? But we're contracted for 3 movies, and this will be our last one.
Yeah, and that's definitely at least a foreshadowing of a possibility of him looking into the TV landscape and saying, you know what, that's profitable, and that keeps my product relevant. I think that he just saw, and it was pretty successful. Mike and I had forgot that we reviewed that. I had forgot, but the Child's Play TV show did pretty well. I mean, and it was just, and again, I mean, I know there are fans out there that loved suck Chucky's redheaded dick, but it was still, but as not a huge fan of Chucky, I thought it was pretty enjoyable. They had Brad Dourif back, they had Mancini doing the scripts and helping with the production, and it was pretty successful. I think that the problem with that show was it was in a studio that didn't really give it enough of a wider reach than it should have had. If you do a Halloween TV show, I don't want to do 10 seasons. I don't want it to be like fucking Gotham or something like that, where it's going to focus on Commissioner Gordon. And it's just like you get a shitty Batman at the end with like something he got from Kmart standing on a rooftop. And it's a terrible ending in that whole, that series. Oh my God. It started out really good. And then the ending was like just pure ass. I would say, I would even go with 2 seasons. Do either a Loomis early file or you could, but this is where you get into trouble. I was going to say you could do the beginnings of Michael Myers and following up a little bit, and you want to change the history a little bit. That's fine, but that's dangerous territory. When you start going into Michael Myers' backstory and you're going to tell if it's going to be a TV series centering around,
don't want that
Michael Myers, then you get into some dangerous Rob Zombie. I see unicorns when I jack off to ticks. Rob Zombie stuff. Like I don't want any of that.
I don't want that either.
The thing you could do, I mean, I don't know. You could honestly, what if they did this? What if they put it in the 80s and it was following around survivors that had made it through the massacre of Halloween, and then dealing with the fallout there, and then Michael he's locked up, or he had escaped and not been heard from, but there's all this. It's almost like I'm describing a 90210, like a survivor's type of like guilt thing where they talk about their. I don't know. I still think the idea would just to be a Dr. Loomis. Like I would do a Dr. Loomis early thing up to the point where he meets Michael Myers, and then go from there. And then after he meets Michael Myers, then you launch a new movie.
Here's my exact pitch for the whole thing. I think you do a TV series and you don't put a cap on it. You see how successful it is and how long it could go. You may end it, you may not. See how it goes, and you put it on one of the biggest networks. It's got to have, if it's going to go to TV, it's got to have the utmost money and proper production team behind it. Can't be some fly-by-night bullshit. Can't go to Sci-Fi. All due respect,
I think it's gonna be HBO Max. That's
what Chucky did. HBO Max would be fucking amazing. But my pitch is that I think that they should bring out a brand new cast. I don't think we should have any returning characters except for Michael Myers. Michael Myers should be the only character name in that entire thing. Now, could you bring in characters that remind you of a Loomis type character? Yes, absolutely. A Laurie type character, that's a given, because you got to have your final girl, your main person. But I say you start it, you center it around brand new people that you don't know, and Michael Myers attacks them. He escapes. However you want to tell that story, you can keep the origin the same. That's probably the best idea. Somebody escapes from, Michael Myers escapes from a mental institution, and they do that story part the same, but it's a brand new people. It's a brand new story. And then as you go along, as these characters grow and their arcs develop, you start to throw in tiny little things that remind you of the other movies, right? Like maybe there's a season, you're in season 3 and all of a sudden they start, are they hinting at the fucking cult right now? Don't do it unless you're going to do it fucking right. But you start hinting towards some of the best parts of the sequels, right? Some of the best things to see. You take the good shit, you leave the bad shit, and you kind of let that season. So Halloween fans, you're watching, you're interested in these new characters, what's happening with Michael Myers, but you're also getting these little teases like, oh, fuck, are they going to do that right now? Maybe they even do some crazy shit like take a Man in Black character and actually write it well and like divulge it well, and they do all that well. The opportunities there are endless if you do it all right.
Yeah.
And,
I mean, and then, like if you look at a show like Gotham, it focused on Commissioner Gordon. If they did a show focused on Loomis, it would be like they're going to focus on Commissioner Gordon before he had to deal with all the crazies, or at least the crazy, Michael Myers later on. And there's some really good comic books that came out about exploring Loomis's life. That he had a wife, that he did a lot of other things, that it wasn't just always focused on Michael Myers. What I feel like you could do is you could do a season of Halloween, and maybe do 3 episodes per character. Explore a backstory for Dr. Loomis, explore a backstory for Laurie a little bit, Jamie. There's a lot of things that you could explore a little bit, and then it all and then it just all adds up, and then you launch a new movie off. I don't think a Halloween series is going to make it past 2 seasons. I'm going with 1 season, 8 episodes, and then you launch a new movie, because it's about a year, maybe almost a year before, or I would assume. Okay, so Halloween Ends comes out. I would wait a year, 2 years, then launch a TV series. I would wait after that TV series ended to launch a movie off of, just to keep it fresh in people's minds, and then kind of tell a different story. But now what I ultimately feel what's going to happen is they're just going to reboot the series. I don't feel like they're going to stretch out too much. I don't see it. I feel like they're going to just reboot the movie completely. They're going to reboot. They're not going to do it the Rob Zombie way, but they're going to reboot the series.
I would call that I'm not going to say mistake, because that's kind of the same thing I'm saying to do with the TV series, right? Like just tell a different story with Michael Myers in it. That's in a different universe, and he attacks different people, and you have absolute autonomy and freedom to do what you want with that. As long as you get Michael right, you keep the mask right, you keep all that shit right. You don't fuck around. It's about Michael. It's not Gotham. It's not any of that shit. And you get Michael, and you get the mask right, and you make him scary, and you keep him a mystery. You never explain him. As long as you do that, I feel like you can bring in all these new characters, and you can really retell the whole story again from a whole new lens. And you're not redundant with the Laurie storyline or the Loomis storyline, because let's be honest, I don't get me wrong, I think the Loomis Chronicles or the Loomis Files would be a great show. I think that's a separate show from what's in my head, but I also think that would be a great show. But I don't know. But either way, like this is another big hint that even Blum thinks, hey, maybe they're going fucking TV next, and he knows.
Well, I think they're looking at Mancini, and they're looking at the. I mean, I think they did a successful job on the TV show. I mean, I think it was good. I think it was a hit. I just don't think it hit enough people's homes.
Yeah, it was on Sci-Fi.
Yeah, I don't feel like they. Yeah, I don't feel like they picked the right network, or at least no network was interested in doing a Chucky TV series except for Sci-Fi. But the other thing I will say is, yeah, dude, trusting Hollywood not to do a reboot and doing the same fucking thing that worked in John Carpenter's original Halloween is like trusting a condom that you got from a gas station. That's not going to get Sheila pregnant, because the reality of it is Hollywood. We know this, guys. I mean, it's not like Hollywood is very, very few and far between. They'll do anything original with an IP that they know works. So they're going to look at Halloween 2018 was something new. It was original. It was fresh. Just like Rob Zombie's Halloween was new and original and fresh. And then it went downhill quick. But Halloween 2018 kept up, and they kept the same kind of vibe going through with Halloween Kills. And I'm sure they're going to do with Halloween Ends. But ultimately, what Hollywood always does is they'll revert back to be like, all right, well, we need to reboot the series. We'll just update the shit and we won't have Rob Zombie do it, and we'll keep it more close to the subject material, and we'll go from there. We'll have Laurie come back, and we'll restart it, because we're introducing it to a whole new generation of fans. I want them to do something different. Of course, we all do, but that's not what that the machine that is Hollywood knows. That being said,
though, and that's it is a COD though that's in control of this. Like when Blumhouse says the rights revert back to a COD,
no, yeah, I know.
It's going back to him and Trancas, and I'm not. They don't always make the best decisions, no, but I think that maybe they realize that just like Spider-Man, we don't need another origin story.
I don't think so. And we talked about this before. I think it would be a spectacular idea. I mean, you said too. What I would do at this point, because like they already told an excellent story with Halloween 2018. That was pretty much like a kind of a soft reboot of Michael Myers. And then it ends with Halloween Ends. What I would do is with a new Halloween movie I would take Michael Myers and I would put him in and again, I know they won't do this, but we've talked about this before. Put him in a different environment. Put him in a different mindset where he's just a unfiltered killer. Like, he doesn't care who your family is. He's not stalking one person, and he's just a wild, uncontrollable force that roams from city to city. That's it. But I know they won't do that. What I'm saying is, like, I know it's too much of an allure and too much of a moneymaker for them just to be like, well, we don't have to have that in there.
I think Michael, at the end of Halloween Returns, the script, he writes on the wall, "This town and blood, this town will never be safe again." Mm-hmm. I think that's what you do with him. I'm not saying you do the whole script for Halloween Returns, although that'd be dope. But like, he wants to kill everybody in fucking Haddonfield. You know what I mean? And so, like, it's not a person, it's not a singular person, it's a town. And he wants everyone fucking there dead. So you don't need a Laurie to drive that storyline. And then you're not pigeonholed to this one character, but you give us new characters, you give us interesting characters, and then Michael Myers fucking shows up. Oh my God, he's back. You don't even have to do the origin story. Oh my God, he's back. Like, we know where fucking Michael Myers came from. And then you do that again. And I also think that, like, I wouldn't mind a TV show that picked up from Halloween 4. Like, they pick it up, they give us a new Jamie, they do that whole thing, and they tell that story. You have to write it in a smart way because you have to get people up to speed fast. You have to make it not confusing for people. How many people were confused by in Halloween 2018 where, like, how many people were like, what the fuck? She died in Resurrection. You're like, no, it's a requel, this.
Yeah.
But if they do that right, if they tell that story right, if they write it correctly, I think picking up from Halloween 4 would be an absolute genius fucking move.
You know what? No, I agree. But I think ultimately what they're going to wind up doing is they want to wipe the slate clean.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like they want to go back to the original Halloween.
Remake Halloween 4 because the Halloween 4 ends with
not even Halloween 4. No, they're not.
I'm
talking about going right back to the beginning of 1978.
Yeah. No, I know what you're saying. I was correcting myself.
No, I know what you mean. But I feel like, they're like, all right, we're just going to wipe out all the other timelines. Like, DC is doing this right now. Like, DCEU is doing this. Marvel, they've not really done it yet, but DCEU has constantly rebooted their universe. And now they're rebooting it in the cinematic way. I feel like that's what ultimately the Hollywood's going to decide. And a COD, they're going to be like, you know what? The Rob Zombie Halloween did not work to our advantage because he came in and pretty much butt fucked the dog with Halloween 2, and that was it. And then, they had babies that had to get destroyed. But what we can do is hire some good, credible directors, some good actors, reboot Halloween 1978, and we'll just go from there. We'll start a whole new generation of Halloween. Because that's the easiest thing to do. That's the easiest moneymaker right there. If you reboot 1978 Halloween, and then you get that guy that we saw in the flashbacks for Halloween Kills, and you kind of shoot it in that same way, that's a killer fucking motive.
Beautiful. I really hope we're in agreement on this. Whatever they do, I hope Aaron Armstrong, who played the Shape in the flashback sequence of Halloween Kills, is our next Michael Myers. I really fucking do. I mean, that guy ruled.
I don't want to. I know we're close to the end, and we only got a few more things to talk about. But I really do have to drain me wiener one more time.
Okay, no, go ahead. Go ahead and take the PP times. Okay, and then once we get done with this, we will do the Doctor Strange shit. We will take a look at these Rotten Tomatoes reviews, and some of them are spicy. They're real fucking spicy. But yeah, so I did this thing like before Halloween Kills came out. I wrote this big long article, and it was like 10 places the Halloween franchise could go. And you know, there's a lot of places, man. There's so many places in this franchise you can go back and jump in. I think the number one place that you could jump back in with, as fucked up as it sounds, is actually Halloween 9, because it's way easier to explain to the audience. No, we're going back to the original canonical timeline, just like Chucky. We don't have to talk about it. We can pretend resurrection never fucking happened, you know, but have the show, or probably the show, have the show start with Michael Myers opening his eyes in that morgue. We never have to talk about Busta Rhymes again. Okay. I'm not saying that. He opens his eyes in a morgue. Laurie's dead, so we never have to go back to that storyline again. She died in the beginning of that fucking movie, right? We don't have to talk about the past. All right. We're just letting you know this is Michael Myers. He woke up in a morgue. You remember what happened. And then he goes fucking ham. He starts killing people in the thing. He escapes. And then, just like I said with the TV series idea, you get new cast and crew, new characters, make them interesting. Michael Myers runs into them. And then you tell your story and you write it out from there. You also could go back. You could remake Halloween 4, which I thought was a great movie that just had a really bad mask and really bad action sequences in it that could have been amazing. But they just fucked it up. You know, you could go back and you could do that. You could say, hey, Halloween 2 happened. Loomis did die, but Michael survived. You could pick up at the end of Halloween 2 with like, oh my God, we found Loomis's body, but we didn't find Michael's. I don't personally recommend that, because I think that's a slap in the face to all the hard work that Pleasance put into Halloween 4 and 5. But that's a place you could go. I think a remake of Halloween 4 in a TV series setting would work, though. I think you could have these characters and you could start anew. We're going to start with a remake of Halloween 4. Okay, the events of 1 and 2 happened, but in Halloween 4, there's this little girl. Her name is Jamie, and you tell the fucking story right. And then what would be even fucking cooler is, could you imagine if the first part of the show had this little girl in it and she starts to get older, but then if you either fast forward or she gets older, Danielle Harris comes back as the grown-up version of that girl, playing Jamie as her adult self. And then you tell the right story for Jamie Lloyd, because Jamie Lloyd had such an imprint on this franchise from Halloween 4 and 5. She was so great in those movies that you tell her story and Michael comes back for her. Imagine just watching a movie that's a well-made TV series on HBO Max or Netflix, and Danielle Harris is playing herself as Jamie Lloyd, and Michael shows up for her. It's been however many years since she was a kid, since those events happened, and he shows up for her now. You requel it just like you did Halloween with Jamie Lee Curtis, only this time it's Jamie Lloyd. I think that would be fascinating too. You got to work around the whole her stabbing her mom at the end of 4. Definitely don't want to see her become the new Michael Myers or anything like that. But I think that would be really fucking interesting. And give that character some due. I think that's way cooler than bringing back Danielle Harris as yet another different character than she played. But that character, that Jamie Lloyd character, needs to be done justice, you know, and I think that's the fucking way to do it for Halloween 4 for me personally. But let's get some of y'all super chats before we go back and do the Rotten Tomatoes for the old Doctor Strange. Y'all want to come over my house, maybe lick my inner thigh, and then I could take y'all out to Wendy's and get you a Baconator just to say thanks for licking my inner thigh and tickling me and making me go, ooh, that feels nice. What the fuck just happened? Bernie Gambano, thanks, buddy. Bernie Gambano says, hello, my brothers. Just wanted to say I just got this union job as a cemetery worker, so I'll be back in Patreon no time. Have you missed me? We always fucking miss you, Bernie. You motherfucker.
I don't want to be buried in that pet cemetery. I just want myself a sandwich to go.
Live my life out, God.
I just now thought of something. What I was thinking of about the Halloween thing. If they do reboot, like again, if it's going to revert back to a COD, right after Halloween ends, right, and they've got all the rights now, and they can do whatever they want. They can hire whatever writer, director, stars they want. If they did decide to do a remake, and they were like, their goal was, we want to tell a story of Michael Myers, not a trilogy, but like maybe it extends further, but like a consistent story where there's not like runes, there's not a psychic little niece,
the goddamn runes.
Yeah, there's none of that bullshit. It's just a consistent story, and that even means that they have to take Season of the Witch out, because in Halloween 3 we really never got anything that happened to Michael Myers between Halloween 2 and Halloween 4. They took the time to do Halloween 3, and then you just assumed that Michael had been in a coma for all that time. But you could do a bunch of shit if you're going to do a remake of that movie and then and be a very consistent storyline and move from there. I mean, I you know,
that's kind of what I was saying. Like I think going back and like taking all the good parts of that stuff and actually tying together a canonical storyline would be great.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and then of course, there's going to be people that love the Halloween 4 storyline, but the thing about the psychic Jamie, I'm like, get the fuck out of here. I don't want to watch X-Men in my Michael Myers story. I mean, I liked X-Men part in Jason.
Yeah.
I thought it was cool to see the telepathic girl or
that
the
was until 5.
girl.
They didn't do that until 5. So technically you could do that still. Well, they did the end of 4, you know. But that's what I'm saying.
Well,
I think
you'd
have to remake 4.
but they had they got dumb with it. And you know, no doubt, like, I mean, I'm sure they would contact Danielle Harris. I could see Danielle Harris playing the mom of Michael Myers or something.
I don't think she should ever do anything but play Jamie, dude.
I think that Danielle Harris, I think that she was definitely not given the appropriate treatment toward the end with Curse of Michael Myers. I think that they could have done a way better job with how they approached that particular movie. But as far as like introducing her character and doing something with that character, but at the same time, after Halloween 4, they were really fucking stretching. And when you introduce that they have a psychic link, and then goddamn Michael Myers got a man bun and he's crying. He's crying in the attic. I'm like, is that Steven Seagal crying about all the lies that he told?
You can't pick up from 5. You can't do it.
It's
That's
just
what
terrible.
fucked the franchise, man. The way it left, it made it impossible to be good.
It almost makes me, if I owned Halloween, I'd be like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna restart the whole series, and I'm gonna tell a consistent story.
Yeah,
and then I can diverge anytime I want. I would also leave that in the like, all right, Michael's not obsessed with the bloodline. I can diverge and go wherever I want. If Michael decides I'm gonna go to fucking Chicago and whip some people's asses, I'll do that if I want to.
Yeah, I'll diverge all over that waitress's floppy ass.
That's right. That's right.
All right, I'll be right back, and then I promise we'll do the Doctor Strange stuff. We grab some super chitty chats while I'm gone. Starting with there's one. Anthony Fitzgerald said, I hope they don't go full supernatural in Halloween Ends and keep Michael in between human and supernatural. Let's not get crazy. I agree with you, Anthony. Right. Even though they're sniffing that Halloween 4 script, I think they should keep it in between always and forever.
Yeah. You never want to go full
ass to mouth.
You never want to do that. You never want to go full Sipple Jack. You don't want to do that. I'm okay. I don't know. You know what? I don't. The super chat. Oh, I don't understand the last thing. Hold on. Fuck. I saw. Fuck me in the butthole. Did my internet just die? Are you guys there? Are you guys there? Okay. You know what? I don't know where I am on the chat. I have no idea because my fucking internet just took a dump on my face. Okay. There's some super chats, but I don't know. Hold on. Give me a second. I'm going to get through it. Okay. We're going to get through it together. Just give me a second. All right. I'm trying to read. And it's hard for me. Oh my God. You guys are awesome though. Thank you guys so much for the super chats. You know what? I can't do it. I don't know where they are. I can't see them. Because I think there was somebody. Okay, you know what? I'm just not going to do that. I can't do it because I don't know. We'll wait for Mike to come back because I can't see. Lou Bliss says, I'm here. Thank you. I know that you're there. You're always there. Sorry, guys. Oh my God. Look at that weird hair that was sticking out from my cap. But yeah, you know, end of the day, what I was saying about Halloween is that I think that ultimately, you know, Hollywood's going to do Hollywood, and after Halloween Ends is done, they're going to reboot the series. You know, and they're going to go from the beginning. I don't necessarily think it's necessary to do the familial bloodline story again, but I don't know. They probably will. Inky the Alien says you have a surprisingly soothing voice, Jay. Is that surprising? Well, I guess yeah. It's maybe it is. Maybe I think that in layman's it's called a boring voice, but yes, I appreciate you. I don't even know what's going on with my internet. I can't even get down to the newest comments. But yeah, I feel like ultimately with Halloween is like I said, they're gonna go back to what worked for them, and what worked for them back in 1978 was a very simple story about an inmate that broke out of an asylum that stalked down victims, and for whatever crazy reason, and they'll move from there. Now, whether or not you want to add the familial type of tie-ins, you can do that, but I don't think they will. I think that they can make a very compelling story without adding that type of baggage, I suppose, on that character. Lou Bliss says, is Tim Wagner coming back for a live stream since you also Halloween Kills? I mean, I hope so. I mean, I don't know. I love that guy. I think he's a cool guy. I think he was very informative, and I think he was definitely somebody that you could pick his brain for a while. So I'd be fine with him coming back on. I don't know. Richie Work says some Hellraiser back is what we need, and stop forgetting about Halloween. I'm assuming that you're talking about that Hellraiser should definitely be back in the public eye. I definitely think so as well. I think Hellraiser, and again, I've said this before. I think that Hellraiser is a very underrated character. I don't think he's been given the. I mean, be honest. I mean, Pinhead, he got 4 theatrical movies, and 3. I like 3, but 3 was not good. 4 was a kind of a bullshit movie. It was kind of a way to get rid of the. They were like, well, we ran out of stories. We don't know what to do. I think that Pinhead could be a very, very good, amazing character retold in the right way, with the right budget and the right director. So yeah, I agree. But so I Heshua Big, I don't know. Heshuia Big Boob says Jay has a secret son and has been borrowing his room during videos. That is true. Yes, his name is Timothy, and this is all of his shit. I didn't want you guys to know about it because I'm behind on child payments, and I cannot have that come out in court. Let's see what say. Michael Parkton says this new Hellraiser needs more homoerotic. Yeah, well, I think there was plenty of homoerotic stuff going on in the first movie for sure. I don't care if that's in there or not. I mean, that's part of the character. But the thing about Pinhead is Pinhead doesn't care if you're a guy, girl. I mean, he doesn't care. Like, he gets off on the fact that your flesh rips open and he gets to stick his wiener in it. So it doesn't matter if you're a chick or a guy. Pinhead is sexless when it comes to where he wants to stick his pinheaded dick in. So he doesn't. I mean, he don't care. He don't care.
I'm gonna put it in.
By the way, I couldn't get to any of the super chats because my internet's fucking up. And when I went back to what you were trying to show me with the last one, I couldn't get them. I couldn't find out. I couldn't see it.
Okay, that's all good. Sonny M says they should do a reboot where Judith survives the initial attack, and 15 years later he goes after her and her child and make her be played by Danielle Harris. That's interesting as fuck, actually. Like, it is.
I like it, but I don't like that you're. But I don't. That's cool, but I don't like that Judith is the one that you're following.
Then it becomes another Jamie Lee storyline.
Yeah,
for sure.
I don't like that, but yeah, it's cool though. It's cool.
It's an interesting idea. I just like the idea that Michael, for some reason, wants the town of Haddonfield dead, and nobody really understands why. But it's the whole fucking town. That way, you're not pigeonholed to anybody or anything. But that's really interesting.
Well, it kind of goes back to that novelization in the original Halloween, where it was like the Celtic thing, which ties into Halloween 6. Of course, you can play with that, but I feel like you got to be real careful. Because you don't want to make it Harry Potter magical broomsticks in my vagina shit. Because if you make it too much magical broomsticks in my vagina, then you might as well call yourself Harry Potter in the chamber of Michael Myers' dick. Like,
yeah,
it gets too stupid then.
Be careful where you put your wieners there. Courtney Reed, speaking of big wieners that I like, smothered pork chops or smothered turkey wings. I don't know if I'd go pork chops. I don't know what the fuck a turkey wing is, bro. Oh, it's just like, it's
just turkey. It's just turkey.
I'm gonna go smothered pork chops on that one. Yeah,
chewy. I think pork chops are good, but pork chops like very, very heavy.
Smothered weighs your ass down, dirty old man. Love you, Courtney. Music man, thanks, buddy. Says love the show, guys. How about Neil Patrick Harris as the new Freddy?
I'd be all right with that.
I love you, but no,
I'd be all right with that. No, hide him on some makeup. He'd be all right.
He's a great actor, but no.
Mike don't like him because he's gay.
No, that's not why I love him, because he's gay. He's handsome and
is he gay? I don't know
if
he. I don't know. I just know him as Doogie Howser.
Yeah, I always think of his character from Harold and Kumar too, where he's like he still steals their car.
I still think the best Freddy Krueger is Kevin Bacon overall.
I told you that's Jay's pick. You were gone when they asked that question.
Well, no, but I know. I saw somebody was like, "Oh, Mike wins the pool." And it's like he didn't bet on shit.
Which I agree with, by the way. Michael Long, thanks, dude. The handsome mustache one is back. He says limited series 1, hard maybe 2 seasons. 1, maybe 2 seasons, all taking place over the course of Halloween night, watching Michael stalk Haddonfield real time. It's a cool idea.
Totally okay with that, because again, I think that the max you can move that TV show is 2 seasons, but 1 season doing that kind of like 7, 8 episodes, 100%. That'd be cool. Yeah.
I think going forever, but I'm an asshole.
Shut your mouth.
I spread my butt cheeks and talk to birds. Anthony Stamps, thanks, buddy. They says it's very difficult for me anyway to really think of how they'll move forward after ends. All we can really do is just wait and see. You're right. It's a hard bag to swallow. What?
It's a hard dick. It's so hard. I can't take all this big dick down. But yeah, it's true. Well, that's what we've been mentioning too. Is the fact that after Halloween ends, and again, I really hate to doom and gloom it, but I mean, you are dealing with Hollywood, and it's not exactly the original idea machine anymore. So they could easily just be like, well, we'll just take it back to formula and redo the whole thing.
Yeah. Anything could happen, but damn, is it going to be fucking, is it going to be fascinating to find out, dude, for sure. Thanks, Anthony. Appreciate you, man. Michael Parton, appreciate you too, buddy. Thank you. He says, I'm hoping WB Warner Brothers revitalizes the Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street franchises soon while we're waiting for a new Halloween film.
Would love that. I would love that.
It'd be smart for a studio to get both of those while they're up for grabs, when they are up for grabs, because they definitely could have tie-ins. You're talking about a TV series. Imagine if you had a TV series where Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday the 13th coincide with each other.
Time my cock out here. Are you talking about WB, the ones that put on that shit like the Flash and Arrow?
Well, they already own part of Nightmare. So
oh god, I didn't know that. Talk about a nightmare on my street.
On my street.
I forgot about that shit. Holy fuck. If you guys want to see Michael Myers or not, I'm sorry, Jason show up out of Crystal Lake with a bedazzled fucking Jason mask and say that he's misunderstood because people don't understand what pronouns he uses. Fuck yeah, I like that. That's a good choice. Not. No, but I'll tell you what. I don't care who owns the franchises, as long as they pump the money in appropriate and they give it the true adaptation that it needs. But at the same time, I don't think a Nightmare on Elm Street TV show will work, because they've already done the fucking Freddy's Nightmares. The only way it would work if you set up you got to make it gross, man. You got to make Freddy Krueger be gross. You got to do it on HBO Max or Netflix, where it shows the backstory of Freddy Krueger and what he actually did to those kids, then launch the movie right after that. You know what I mean? Yeah. So then you're like, oh, this is a disgusting human being.
I think Halloween will, when they do Halloween, if they do a TV series, it will really set the stage for what everybody else is going to do. I'd like to see Nightmare come back as a movie first, and then maybe they go the TV series as well. But dude, I think if we need to see somebody come out of this darkness, it's got a lot of people say Friday because it's been so long. I say Nightmare, dude. I think it's been way too long. I think Nightmare is prime for the picking.
I think Nightmare needs it. Yeah.
Holy tits.
I agree. No, yeah.
And they just showed what they could do with Wes Craven's property with Scream 5. Like, let's go, man. Let's fucking do it. Mark Dorman, thanks, buddy. He says maybe a series set in present where Haddonfield is paralyzed by the legacy of Myers. Timelines ambiguous, where the end of each timeline is part of his legend, so you can focus on new characters and story. I like that. You don't have to explain exactly where you are. Like make it like Michael Myers, like inexplicable.
I think that Mike and I had talked about that before. Like, one of the main things that you would focus in on is that the whole town would have PTSD. And I think they did a pretty good job with that with Halloween Kills. But the fact that you would never they would never sell the mask in the town. You would never see that mask. Actually, nationwide, that mask would never be sold. So the fact that Michael could just pick up a mask like at fucking CVS pharmacy and put it on, that's my new mask. There would be nothing even remotely. Yeah, I'm cool. They're paralyzed by fear. They don't know how to move forward, and it's a PTSD type of story, and maybe even where they're accusing everybody else of doing terrible. Like, you could be like, well, they're hiding Michael Myers, or I saw Michael Myers over there. Like it could be like who done it kind of. Yeah. Cool idea.
They need to do what they've done in the past with Halloween, man, and that's take pitches. Trancas needs to sit back and take pitches from people. Hey, we're thinking about a TV series. We want to see what you're all thought. Have writers come to you and be like, "This is my vision for it," and you pick a showrunner. But you say, because jumping back into the franchise is great for us hardcore fans. We would love to see them jump back into the franchise and do all this stuff. But the question is, how do you relay that to a general audience? How is Betty Sue, who works at fucking Kroger, how are you gonna tie her in when she doesn't know fuck all about Halloween 4 or the franchise or whatever? If you're gonna jump back into the franchise, you really need to find a way to grab the casual viewer and them to understand where they're starting with from episode 1, or else it's not going to work out. And I think that's their biggest challenge. So you have writers come to you with their ideas, and then you pick the best one. You know.
Yep.
And by the way, if you're looking for people with ideas, Trancas, you can hit me up anytime, and Jay and I will sit down in a room, do a whole lot of cigarette smoking, and we'll figure it the fuck out for you. We will.
Yeah. Our idea coming up situation would be literally a Larry King live episode.
Give us a shot.
Like be smoking cigarettes with microphones in front of us, talking about like, well, I think this would be a good Michael Myers story.
Give us a fucking shot, man. We may not write the script, but we'll give you a treatment. We will.
I would.
Sonny, thank you, dude. He says, what about H9? Bring back Busta Rhymes. Give him the most brutal kill in the franchise.
You know what? I'd love that.
Why don't you suck my balls?
No, I actually would love that because,
Sonny.
you know what? Halloween Resurrection was a terrible fucking turdy ass crust stain on the underwear of America. And we talked about that before. If you got nothing else in your back pocket on what to do with Halloween after Halloween ends, make a sequel to Resurrection and kill Busta Rhymes with the musical stylings of Kanye West.
he would never come back just to die.
And then just fucking kill him in the worst possible way. I want you in the worst way. Just kill him.
I get
and then have a badass Michael Myers story. And then what you do is you basically take a dump in the mouth of the camel that was Halloween Resurrection, and you're like, that didn't happen, or it did happen, but now Michael Myers back and he's a badass. So
I get the sentiment, Sonny, and I actually like it. I do. I was just kidding, but I do think that if you do that, if you bring back Busta Rhymes and you kill him for the fans, ultimate fan service, like just brutally killing off one of the worst cornerstones of the Halloween franchise. I just think if you do that, you're literally just putting yourself right back in that H8 seat. You know what I mean? I think we have to forget all that shit ever fucking happened, scrub it clean.
It's interesting because if you do a Halloween 9 after Resurrection, what you can do is you can, erase a terrible mistake that was Resurrection, especially, the Kung Fu master of fucking Master P, and ruin, kill that character off, and then you can move in a different direction. And to be honest with you, I'd be fine with that. Like, I mean, they got like, if you look at the DC EU or whatever, the Batman just came out, the Joker was out. They could do different stories, and you can still do your own Halloween movie separate from this universe. But the main timeline, the timeline that people know, you do a sequel to Resurrections and right some wrongs there, sir.
I'm all for the sequel to Resurrections. I just don't want to ever see Busta Rhymes' face again. I think that just sets the tone in the wrong.
What if you saw his face and they got smushed? I think that makes it better.
I mean, it'd be nice to see, maybe in a quick flashback sequence or something. Like,
got smushed between Kim Kardashian's butt cheeks.
Slash is a symbol. I think you hit the keyboard twice there, but we really do appreciate it, man. Thank you. Says, hey guys, first super chat, and I want to play a game. You want to play a game? Fight, flight, or freeze.
I never heard that.
Same as fuck, marry, or unalive. I always thought it was fuck, marry, kill. But he said, I'll give you 3 slashers. You can either run from, fight, or let unalive you, kill you. Oh, I guess you can't write kill in the super chat.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah,
you can either run from, fight, or let kill you. OG Jason Voorhees, OG Freddy Krueger, Canon Michael Myers. Love you guys. Love you too, man. Great question.
Thank you, man.
Okay. I'll run from Freddy because he scares me the most. Don't want nobody fucking with my dreams. Okay. I will fight Michael Myers because I think I can beat him. I really do. And I would let Jason kill me because I feel like it would be the quickest fucking death. At least he's not going to fucking proportion my body and make me a fucking piece of his artwork afterwards. He'll just cut my throat, cut my head off, hit me with a sleeping bag or whatever the fuck. And that's my answer.
I would fight Freddy Krueger if it was in the real world because I think I could take that cocksucker. He looks like a gas station attendant when he doesn't.
You can't caveat that. That's a Dreamland fight.
They didn't say that. No, it wasn't specified. But I would fight Freddy Krueger because I think I could win. And also, he's just a little skinny turd. And so I would freeze Jason Voorhees because he lives in water, and water is conducive to freezing. So I could freeze that motherfucker under the water forever, and then I would fly away from Michael Myers because it's like, dear God, make me a bird so I can fly far from here.
You have to let one of them kill you.
It said flight. Fight, flight, or freeze. That's what it said.
Yeah, run from, fight, or let kill you.
No, it said flight, fight, flight, or freeze.
No, it doesn't say flight. No, that was the first one, and the second one it says.
Okay, well, I'm stupid. Okay, so I'm.
What happened was,
all right. So yeah, I would. Yeah, I'd fight Freddy Krueger, which I would win, because that guy looks like he weighs $180. I would fly away from Michael Myers, and I would freeze Jason. It doesn't say die.
That's like saying I'd fight Jason if he didn't have his powers, though.
But he's frozen and he's stupid. He doesn't know what ice is. He's like, I don't know what that is.
What is it with you and the ice right now? Where is there ice in this scenario?
Freeze. It says freeze.
Look at the second one, Jay. He misspelled fight. He put an L in there on accident. Or no, freeze. Fight. That's just the name of the game. You either got to run from one, fight one, or let one kill you. Those are your options.
I did not see that.
It's in the second line. Run from, fight, or let kill you.
Well, I thought he was doing a goddamn Mr. Freeze thing. Sir.
There's no freezing.
Well, there should be. All right, so if I can't fucking magic power my way out of this, then I'll let Jason kill me. Because I mean, Michael gets artistic with that shit.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but I'd fight Freddy, and I'd fly away from Michael. Yeah.
Cowboy coffee.
I don't know what the fuck just happened because the way that guy worded everything, like an asshole that just gave a speech in front of the whole class that was based on wrong information.
I'm trying to fucking tell you.
Well, I don't know what the fuck. I just read it.
Cowboy Coffee Joel, which I love your fucking name, dude. You just sound like somebody I want to hang out with and have coffee with. It says, what about Tom Hiddleston as Pinhead and Jason Clarke as Freddy? His eyes perfect. You two are so great. You're so great,
Jason Clarke would be really good at. I could see that. I love Jason Clarke. I think Jason Clarke could pull off Freddy easily. And Tom Hiddleston as Pinhead, easy. Whether or not you ever get those guys, fuck no. You could get. I think
Jason Clarke's gettable.
Jason Clarke is gettable. Yes, Jason Clarke is that guy in the NBA draft. Like he's not really played for a while. He could definitely make a comeback here at the Bulls. But Tom Hiddleston is a huge star, man. Like him coming down and sinking to the level of Pinhead and doing a horror movie, nah. But Tom, it'd be a great. I would love that. That's a dream cast. But Jason Clarke is Freddy, man. I love that. That's a great idea.
I'm going to say no just because Jason Clarke bores the fuck titties out of me. Like everything that guy's in, I'm just like, he looks weird, but he's just boring to me. He's like Jai Courtney.
You loved him in, I thought you said Courtney Reed. No, he's not.
I love Courtney.
No, The Patriot.
No, you're thinking of Isaac.
Isaac Hayes.
No, the guy in The Patriot. No, the guy in The Patriot was Timothy Dalton.
No, it's not.
No, Oscar Isaac. Not Oscar Isaac. Fuck. Who's the guy in the goddamn Patriot?
The bad guy is like, is that...
No, the guy he's talking. Jason Clarke is the guy from Terminator Genesis.
Oh, fuck that guy. What are you
He's got like the kind of the scar on his face.
No, okay, I was wrong. I thought he was talking about the bad guy from The Patriot. That guy would be a great Freddy Krueger.
Not Oscar Isaac. Fuck. Jason
Isaacs.
Yeah. Jason Isaacs.
No, I didn't even think about that, dude. Jason Isaacs would be an amazing Freddy Krueger. Yeah. He would also be a really good Pinhead.
Yeah, you and that farm and the stupid little boy. Did he die?
When this war is over, I'm going to kill you.
Joy Grub, thanks, dude. He says after it ends, they might wait to do a new Halloween movie in 2028 for the 50th anniversary.
No, I hope not. That's a long fucking time, Tony. Damn.
Fuck, dude. I don't want to wait.
But then again, we might get some Friday the 13th. You know, look, we're literally living in a barren wasteland. I mean, we're all looking forward to Halloween ends, but we have nowhere else to go to like stick our engorged penises for horror into that glory hole.
What happens to us after
when Halloween ends is over, dude? There's no Friday the 13th on the horizon. There's no Freddy Krueger. There's no. What the fuck are we to do with ourselves, sir?
Yeah, there's no news. What are we gonna do next? Fuck. All right, finally. I told Jay, like, this is funny. I told Jay before we started the show, I was like, dude, we'll try to do 2 hours tonight. We're only
9 minutes over.
So, and then we still got like half the, well, not half the show, but like we still have the big things on. So we will get into that now. We will finally do what we said. We just have too much fun talking to you guys. It's a great fucking time. I can't help it that your wieners taste good in our mouths.
We can't help it that we need attention constantly.
Okay, so let's take a look at the reviews for Doctor Strange.
Shit, there's a lot of them.
Yeah,
I see a lot of Rotten Tomatoes in my face.
Well, so currently, and let me refresh this because it's a fluid situation.
Oh, 80%. It came up by 1.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
Yeah, 80%. And then, all right, we'll just start with the top. Richard Lawson from Vanity Fair says Multiverse of Madness hurdles its characters from one reality to another, shedding the blandness of its opening stretch and giving Raimi, bless him, room to do things his way. As the film unfolds, Raimi's hiring proves ever more inspired.
I think that's a great review, and I move to make that man a council member of the highest order, Richard Lawson.
Yeah, I like that. That's it. And like, let me say something real quick. Like,
that's a true critic right there.
my hopes and dreams for this movie was exactly this. I wanted a fucking Sam Raimi movie. If this wasn't going to feel like Sam Raimi, if he wasn't going to be able to play in his do things the way he wants to, with those quick zoom ins and the jerky jump scares and the gross out scenes and all, and the screeching loud audio that he does in his horrors, in his horror films,
that's some good stuff.
That's what I fucking wanted. So I love that.
I like that.
David Sims says Multiverse of Madness is overstuffed with the usual fan bait, but it's also undeniably a Sam Raimi movie and a remarkably good one at that.
That's good.
Yeah.
I like you, David. I like you, David. And I'll bet you're the number 1 guy with the online leaderboards of the Sim Cities Part 4.
My kid loves SimCity. She plays.
Have you ever tried to play that game?
No, I can't.
It's weird. Like it's like living life. It's like it's just like living life. Like I do this shit every goddamn day. Like I don't want to I don't need it digitized. I do this. It's like, I don't have any friends. Like that's what you say. And you sit in the fucking room. You're like, hey, your character has no social whatever, like your character has no social connection. You're like,
it's like any of those games though, right? Like I have to build up my achievability rate, so I'm gonna go do some jobs. It's like, why don't you go get a real job?
I bought the Sims 4 and I tried to play and I'm like, that was the worst mistake I ever made, because I was like, hey, it'd be cool. I don't know. I was like, but I live life.
They play it with their friends too, and they like do all this crazy shit. But anyways, I'm getting off topic. Look at Katie Walsh, dude. They fucked up hers real bad. Look at that right there.
It sounds like a robot wrote that shit.
I knew these critics were fucking robots. Unquote. This is 2217 Multiverse of Madness number 44. But of course, then they for quote unquote quits. 2.5.
You sound like a fucking SS trooper from the Nazi regime trying to get me to give information to you. What? I said 2.7 Multiverse of Madness.
Did I catch a 9er in there? No. I don't know what the fuck happened, Katie. I'm so sorry for you. Richard Roper says this is one of the weirder Marvel movies yet.
I'm okay with that.
3 out of 4 rating from him. I want that. I want a fucking horror movie, dude. I want them to fucking surprise the shit out of us, you know? Well, our first Rotan, Nick Shager from the Daily Beast says a summertime sequel that proves way too messy and geeky until it manages to double back around again into pleasurable absurdity.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry that it's not Jennifer Gardner's 13 going on 30 part 2.
And hashtag 40.
I guess you walked into the wrong theater there, sir. But no, I mean, it's fine. It's your opinion.
That's surprising because like what I saw was people complaining that it wasn't geeky, not like didn't have like the cameos and shit, right? So
there's a lot of fresh, and I'm sure there's a lot of rotten. But the thing about it is that, and we talked about this before, if you're a critic and you're invited to screen a movie and you already don't have any kind of like connection to the film, or you don't really care, but you still go see it, you're always going to give a negative. I mean, I always feel like people are going to give a negative review if they don't give a shit about the movie at all. And like, I just feel like that's some of these negative reviews. Like that guy, he seemed very pretentious. And like a summertime sequel that proves way too messy. I'm like, bitch, did you make a movie before?
Hey,
you know,
Nick, why did you need to tell us what fucking season it is? Like, we live here. I know it's fucking summertime.
My shit's
almost
all fucked up. I got Advil, sinus, and cold.
Technically, it's fucking spring, dude. What the fuck? Liar. Oh shit. I don't know what's going on Rotten Tomatoes site, because these reviews are all fucked up. Fico Cangiano says entertaining and number 44, yet messy.
The most entertaining film 44 in my life.
Surprisingly tame. Hashtag number 46. For better or worse, Sam Raimi apples horror vision and amp style leave their mark on, while Elizabeth Olsen gives a great performance in what really works as the true WandaVision finale. Oh, you watch WandaVision?
Oh yeah, no, I know they tie in. WandaVision into the film, and they also tie in the What If animated series, because I think I saw the last teaser trailer. You see Captain Carter, which is a direct link to What If Captain Carter or Sharon Carter became Captain America or whatever, got the super soldier serum, not Steve Rogers. So she becomes Captain Britain, essentially. And then there's also a the zombies, the Marvel zombies. And I saw Scarlet Witch being a zombie in one of the trailers, as well as Doctor Strange. So look, I mean, there's a lot of fucking fresh scores, which is cool. And I think it's going to be a cool movie.
We'll jump around a little bit, John. And by the way, when I went to this side, all the hashtag 46 is gone, so we can just do the regular ones. John Nagayan says Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is the most Sam Raimi outside of his horror films. Yes, that's what I fucking want, dude.
Where'd you what was his name?
John Nagayan.
He's gonna be on my fucking wish list card. Yeah,
what?
I like what you said. I'm gonna send him a fruit basket.
It's just bananas in the shape of cocks.
Yeah, that's all it is
the whole time. All right, we'll fast forward here to a negative review. Terrence Johnson.
Let me read this.
Okay. I didn't realize you could see it.
It's kind of shitty, but I can still read it. You can feel the production and overall plan seeping into the storytelling in ways that Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness doesn't entirely have the what's the last word?
Strength to overcome.
The strength to overcome. Well, sir, we did not ask about your sexual life. But yes, maybe it does. I don't know. Well, it's interesting to look at the negative reviews, because I think what they're, like in their opinion, what they're maybe trying to say is that it starts out strong and then it doesn't have the gas to really pull the movie together at the end. I mean, that's how I'm reading it. It was, it doesn't have the gas to pull it together.
It sounds like he's saying like it's fun as a Sam Raimi movie, but when they try to fold in all the Marvelisms in the storytelling, it doesn't really it have enough to carry it over with.
Right.
And there's one here I saw that was interesting from Hayden Mears from Starburst. I fucking love those candies. Says Brisk guy. They let anybody in fucking here now. This guy works for fucking Starburst. He makes goddamn candies.
Where's our goddamn review?
Right? What the fuck? He says, or he or she says, they say brisk, messy, and campy genre fare that feels caught between studio mandated story beats and its director's love for intimate horror. The result, a reasonably diverting superhero flick that never fully traps into Raimi's morbid imagination.
I like that. I feel like what that tells me is like there's a perfect balance. Like it feels like I feel like Sam Raimi struck a balance between what Disney Marvel wants and then his own type of idea about how to present a movie in his own twisted way. The Evil Dead background, and he's able to put that into a motion picture. I think that's a pretty. I like it. And she says brisk, messy, and campy, which
sounds
sounds exactly like Raimi. And I know,
yeah.
By the way, I do know, which I think, and it's not a spoiler, Sam Raimi is in the movie, or not Sam Raimi, Bruce Campbell is in the movie.
I would love to see him in there.
No, he's in it. Like, no, he's in it. But it's I'm not gonna tell you guys what.
That's the cameo I want.
It's the cameo. He does cameo in it, but he is in the movie because Bruce Campbell and him have a great relationship. So let me read a negative one here. I'm gonna read because it's hard because the way the screen. Christian Tote, he's toting all sorts of disappointments in his life. He says, "Multiverse of Madness." There we go. Yeah. I like that. That feels good.
You like that?
Yeah. I mean, do it again.
Is that what you like?
Yeah. Okay, so Christian Toto, that's his name. Christian Toto, looking like a shitty ass fucking version of the guy that created Family Guy.
Hey, it's his website, Hollywood.
Yeah, good for him. Hollywood and Toto. No one's ever gonna hire you again. Multiverse.
What are the memberships to get into Rotten Tomatoes? You just need a fucking Sam's Club card. What's going on?
Like, dude, this guy didn't have a Sam's Club card. This guy had that fucking membership where you get 100 CDs for $1.
We're kidding, Christian.
Back in the day. No, I'm kidding. Yeah,
congrats, dude.
Multiverse of Madness doubles down on Spidey's intergalactic exploits to exhausting effort. He gave it a 2.5 out of 4. So again, did you go into this movie thinking you were seeing Spider-Man Far From Home Part 2, or were you just disappointed that you didn't get to see Tom Holland's beautiful face?
It sounds like he actually thinks they did too much Spider-Man shit.
No, they said doubles down on Spidey's intergalactic exploits to exhausting effort. Well, yeah, Spider-Man. Okay, so that doesn't make any sense because Spider-Man, as far as intergalactic adventures, only happened in Infinity War and Endgame. As far as Homecoming, Far From Home, and Away From Home Forever, because I miss my mom, whatever the last one was called, those didn't have anything to do with intergalactic travel necessarily. So I mean, what did you go in expecting? Like, did you expect a continuation of a Spider-Man movie? Like, that's what I'm curious about.
Yeah, the intergalactic part throws me off a little bit for sure.
I'm sorry that Chris Pratt didn't show up and do some weird shit.
Charles Copeland says, unfortunately, the magic, excuse the pun. Charles, you bastard. You spilled wine all over my duvet. It says, is missing. Unfortunately, the magic is missing, as Sam Raimi's curious misstep never has a feeling of urgency, a film that spins its wheels, leaning on prolonged, needless action sequences meant to distract us from its flimsy narrative.
Okay, so are you describing The Matrix or this movie? I love The Matrix, but you could spin that tail on movies like The Matrix. And I think The Matrix was an incredible movie, but yeah, I don't buy it. Like, dude. And again, I'm not a Doctor Strange fanboy by any stretch of the imaginations, but I swear to God, they sometimes let these people that have no interest in seeing this movie watch the movie, and they're disappointed, and you're like shocked you didn't get like a fucking artsy fartsy fucking movie from the Cannes Film Festival. What the fuck did you go into thinking it was going to be?
Scott Mendelson, who from Forbes, who always has some wild shit to say about these movies, he gave it a fresh score. And this is actually the problem with Rotten Tomatoes right here, because this is basically a negative score. I mean, the way that they do their numbers, whether it shows as rotten or negative, is always kind of messy, because this, based on what you expect Doctor Strange 2, this huge studio budget, big lead up film to be, a 6 out of 10 is kind of a negative score. So what he's saying here is negative, but it gives it a positive rating. He says Sam Raimi's Doctor Strange sequel subversively rubs viewers' noses in the notion of the MCU being anything more important than a well-crafted big budget blockbuster brand. And I actually see what he's saying there. I do, because it's like no,
I get it.
We want something a little bit more now, and maybe with Sam Raimi at the helm, we'll get it. And he's saying that didn't happen for him.
Yeah, I don't know. And again, I'm not out of here on a white knight mission to fucking defend Doctor Strange into the Multiverse of Madness at all. But I mean, I can read some of these, Johnny Alinsky says the Marvel Cinematic Universe has officially jumped the shark. I mean, motherfucker, they weren't Fonzie.
He said Stark, Jay. It's a pun.
No, yeah. It's so funny. It's so good. And he's a top critic with a star. That must be interesting. And you got that from Rotten Tomatoes,
You're
sir.
So
you must
witty. Do me, Yo-Yo Master.
You did such a good job with your life. But no, I mean, at the same time, like, dude, I doubt it very seriously. If you're gonna talk about jumping the fucking shark, I would say they jumped the shark with Captain Marvel. But that's my opinion. But again, I feel like if you don't like Doctor Strange, if you didn't like the first movie, or if you didn't like the character, or if you didn't understand the character, or if you didn't care about the character,
I didn't like.
You're not going to give one fuck about going into the movie to see it. And if you're not a fan of Sam Raimi, also it's going to play into your fucking rating. But again, at the same time, look, the movie could suck, and we'll always tell you guys the truth. We're going to tell you if the movie blows asshole, I'll tell you look. The movie bounced around. It was stupid. It was bullshit. But I like all these fancy ass words that these critics use to describe something. I'm like, actually, it took away from the Shakespearean artistic form when it told about breaking through the interdimensional barriers. And then what it ultimately wound up making you feel is that you were late for tea. And you're like, what the fuck did you just say?
I just hate the bad puns. That's all. That always gets my nerves. Like, how can I pun this to make it
Doctor Strange? More like strange investment.
She stole my cat. Here's what Grace
Old
Randolph
man carving wood for a canoe.
Woman, dark woman, Elizabeth Olsen. She is a witch.
Old man carving wood for a canoe. I don't know.
She is still hot-ish.
Yeah.
Grace Randolph says, a surprisingly weak MCU entry, but it still gets the job done. Cumberbatch and Olsen do a lot of heavy lifting despite being undercut by director Raimi and writer Waldron. Oh, oddly, hit show WandaVision seems largely ignored. Very good mid-credit scene. All right, now this is the worst fucking one I've read all
Grace,
fucking night.
why don't we give the Flash a hug? Because he can be excused for beating up women and shit like that, right? Like, he's going through things, right? Yeah. Ezra Miller, he's such a victim. Wow, with his weird fucking long hair and eye makeup, we don't know what he's going through.
Here's the thing,
in
though.
Hawaii,
like. This review is fucking stupid. Like, I'm sorry, but it just is. Like, I don't care whether or not you give it a rotten or I haven't seen the fucking movie yet, right? But she in the fucking review is like, it's a weak MCU entry. Cumberbatch and Olsen were great. They were undercut by director Raimi and writer Waldron. Oddly, this is very good mid-credit scene. I love the fucking part at the end.
Guess what? Maybe they should go to a karaoke bar in Hawaii and punch a bitch in the fucking face because she's singing the song wrong because they need mental help. I mean, I just am saying what you said.
That's it. Well, that's a different story altogether. Yeah. She was like, we don't know what Ezra's going through. It's okay that he's hitting chicks in the head with chairs.
He's a self-entitled little bastard from Hollywood that doesn't.
But whatever. Like, how are you gonna be like, I love the mid-credit scene, so I'm gonna give it a pause? What is this? Movies? Are we talking about fucking movies? What fucking reality are we living in? Like, I hate the fucking director because he brought something original, and I don't like new shit. I want my spoon-fed Marvel bullshit. But the end-credit sequence that Feige handled, that was fucking chef's kiss, bro. Get the fuck out of here with that stupid
Hey, listen,
shit.
you know what I'm saying is, like, I would have loved to have just seen, and again, I haven't seen the movie. I can't wait to see it. I'm very excited to see it. I want to see an original fucking movie produced by MCU that actually lets Sam Raimi do his thing. And I'm gonna appreciate it because I'll know that Sam Raimi did his thing. The way that the way that some, I could see it, like, they're like, oh, the ending was the best part. Because it feeds into that same cookie cutter MCU universe. I was like, that's the same mentality that drove Edgar Wright away from Ant-Man. It's the same bullshit.
Yep.
And again, guys, and we have nothing against Grace Randolph. I don't want you guys to think that, we don't. I mean, she's good at her job.
She horribly spoils movies, and she also talks down to people like they're fucking idiots. Just because,
I don't know her personally. I don't want to.
I'm sure she's wonderful.
I don't give a fuck. But I will say that when you start making excuses for people that beat women and that they run around in Hawaii and they act like they're fucking above the law, then, at that point, then I'm like, you're full of shit and your pants drag. And I don't know how you don't change your panties out every 5 minutes from all the shit that gathers there. Because the fact is,
which I need to change my panties soon.
I already did. I did it on the last break. The fact is, and that's where I lost a lot of respect, honest to God, was the fact that she defended Ezra Miller. And look, I mean, you can defend Ezra Miller all you want, and that's cool. That's cool, man. Because he wears makeup and he looks like fucking Boy George. I don't give a fuck what he is. I don't care what he identifies himself as. I understand the facts. He literally threatened a woman at a karaoke bar and then attacked a gentleman at a karaoke bar. Then again, 3-4 days later, gets arrested again. And then he also threatened a married couple and said he'd kill his fucking slut wife and be back for him. This guy is unstable as fuck and needs not to be a part of the Flash series or Warner Brothers and needs to be in a goddamn asylum along with Amber Turd. And they can talk about how it feels when they taste turds themselves when they eat that turd. So fuck them both. Fuck them both. Fuck them both. Fuck them both. So I just don't like apologetic. I don't like apologists. I don't like apologists.
Well, that rubbed me the wrong way too. Like, I don't give a fuck what the guy's gender is or any
I don't
of that
care
stuff.
what
like,
he is. I
mean, if he wants to wear makeup and do whatever, that's cool. That's awesome. Like, it's great. I'm happy for him. But that doesn't excuse. You don't get to just because of whatever go out and do this shit. You don't get to assault women because of anything. You don't get to do it. You do not get to hit women with chairs in karaoke bars, no matter who you are or what you're doing. That's the problem.
Well, me and Mike come from a background that's me and Mike both come from a background that's violent. I've never gone out of my way in public and beat the fuck out of somebody just because they said the wrong thing or they looked at me the wrong way. I mean, what the fuck are you talking about? So because they're celebrities, they get a pass? Are you fucking serious?
I think it's like all that other shit about him is wonderful. That's great and good or whatever. I just think that like the way that she delivered that information, it was just like, man, what the fuck cloud are you living on? She's like, I'm actually like, she actually used that situation to name drop and do, and this is what gets on my nerves. I'm sorry, it just does. The constant like, I'm in the know with DC and I have friends at the top and they tell me things, so I'm gonna spoil all these fucking movies for you just so I can get my fucking scoop. And then she's like, she even took this situation to be like, actually, I'm in the know with people at DC, and I know what Ezra's going through, so you guys should give him a break. Like, oh, but you don't give a fuck about the poor civilian who either spent half their life savings to go to Hawaii and got their head cracked with a fucking chair, or just the person who lives in Hawaii and was out trying to have a good time living their lives and got their head cracked because he's just fucking having a hard time right now. Eat a fucking dick, dude. Like, I don't care who you fucking know. What the fuck is wrong?
I'm sorry that his eyeshadow got in his fucking eyeball and he didn't know what was right and what was wrong. I don't give a fuck what he is, what he's whatever. You know what? And by the way,
congratulations, a guy who knows
and by the way, we're not attacking her, so I don't want you guys to take it that way. I'm not attacking her channel, I'm not attacking her person. I'm just saying that those comments that she's made in recent controversies related to Ezra Miller specifically in his role as Flash, saying that almost the way I read the fucking thing, and she tweeted this, it's not like you guys can't go look at it yourself, was it almost was like we should excuse terrible behavior where you beat a fucking person up or you threaten their life because they're going through a hard time. Guess what, motherfucker? We all go through hard times in our lives, but the last thing I'm going to do is put that rage on somebody else because I'm not a celebrity and I can't get away with it. So I'm not going to go do that because you know why? I was raised with common sense. Common sense would tell me you need some therapy or you need something. Yeah, whatever. So if you want to make excuses and you want to act like you're best buddies with them, you do what you want to do, but do not act like that's the standard for normal. That's not the standard for normal. And by the way, there's a lot of celebrities out there that have gone through some traumatic events in their life, and they don't act like that. So I don't give a fuck how much eyeshadow that motherfucker puts on, or what his goddamn pronouns are, or how much he proclaims on Twitter. He is a piece of shit that literally went out of his way to terrorize some people. And he did it multiple times in Hawaii. And if Warner Brothers was fucking smart, they would remove that cocksucker along with Amber Heard.
Yeah.
Point blank, period. End of story. I don't care.
And I think, what if his name was Mel Gibson?
if you read in the news that Mel Gibson went to Hawaii,
you're gonna invoke his name.
Saying, if his name was Mel Gibson and he went into Hawaii and he hit a woman in the head with a chair, what would the Grace Randolphs of the world be saying?
Oh yeah, he should be electrocuted in his fucking brain. Like he should be thrown down the largest hole in Iran.
Yeah, which and again, like and it's not a personal attack on her. I don't. God, she'll never even but whatever. But I'm just saying, I don't understand how the fuck do you?
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't understand that at all. Like you're gonna be like, well, I could use this as a moment to be like, hey, it's never okay to hit women. If you went
off the hinge, if you went off the hinge and you punched a girl in the fucking face just because you were having a bad day.
What I'm saying though, she looked at that before she tweeted that and said, I could use this as a moment to say, no matter who you are or your situation, it's never okay to hit women, and women are being multiple occasions being assaulted by this man. By them. I'm sorry. I'm not saying him on purpose. And I'm not doing that, but it has nothing to do with any of that. Whoever you fucking are, this human being is out assaulting women. And I could use this as a moment to be like, I don't care if they're DC or they're superhero or whatever. Yeah. But I don't know. I found out this thing that's like an insider secret. I could kind of shove that in people's faces and be like, I know what's going on behind the scenes. You guys don't. I think I'll go with that. I just, come on, man. We get it. People at Warner Brothers. Fucking whoopity goddamn do. Congratulations. I don't give a fuck.
Dude, at the end of the day, this motherfucker threw a chair at a bitch's forehead in Hawaii because he was asked to leave. He was asked to leave, and he threw a chair at a chick's forehead. And then he was like, oh, by the way, I don't know what I did. He just got released from jail 3 days. This guy is a spoiled brat of fucking Hollywood. And you know what? I love the fact, and again, I don't want to cancel. I'm not about canceling. I don't want to cancel people, but I like to expose
people should be in fucking jail.
You know what I like? I like to expose people for the bullshit that they are. Because if you're bullshit, just accept it, man. Just be like, you know what? I need to work on myself. I need to work on my attitude. I'm not ready for this lifestyle. And I don't like people that defend them. Really, I don't. And make excuses for them. Because I think that what you are is a desperate person to suck some dick from Hollywood. And that's what I don't like. At the end of the day, that's what you are. And that's what you sound like. And that's what you smell like. You smell like a desperate person ready to suck some dick to get higher up on the chain. I'm not going to do that. And Mike and I will never, ever, 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 ever invalidate our integrity for some fucking bullshit. Because I'm going to tell you something. We defend Mel Gibson, but I'll tell you what. And the reason why we defend Mel Gibson paid. He paid in fucking blood, dude. He paid in his career. He paid in time. He paid for the mistakes that he made. And it's funny that they hold such a grudge for Mel Gibson that this guy can barely scrape together a living to do anything. To do anything for him is under the microscope, right? Everything he does is under the microscope. Whatever he says, under the microscope for the rest of his fucking life because he made a drunken mistake one time back in the early 2000s. That motherfucker forever is a pariah. But a cocksucker that played one giant role in his career, Ezra Miller, can go to Hawaii and do these shit things, not once, not twice, not 3 times, but 4 times in a fucking row, and not face any serious jail time, not any serious conviction.
Yeah.
Oh, we should forgive him. We should forgive him and understand him. Fuck you and your bullshit goddamn philosophy.
Holly Roxy here says it perfectly. Mental illness is an explanation, never an excuse.
Yeah, I could go out and kill somebody and be like, I'm mentally ill.
Oh, and maybe he is mentally ill. Maybe he is. But the fact of the matter is that that doesn't fucking matter. That tell that to the girl who got her head cracked open. All right. Come the fuck on.
Yeah, and again, guys, we're not trying to go after Grace Randolph. I mean, she can have her opinion. She can do what she wants. I mean, she's in charge of her own life. She can have that opinion. But I'm just saying, personally, I just think it's irresponsible. I think it's reckless to endorse somebody like that. I think it's absolutely reckless. And I think it's
it was just an excuse for her to tell people, I think it's unethical. I know something you don't, because I'm cool.
It's unethical. I just think it's immoral. I think it's unethical. I think it's irresponsible. I think it's reckless behavior. And you know, what if Ezra Miller I'm not saying he would, but what if he killed somebody? What if he was a fucking Phil Spector? What if he pulled a gun out and he shot somebody in the fucking forehead? Would you be defending him?
That could be next if somebody doesn't.
Would you be defending him? Would you be like,
you know,
well, he was going through mental issues and we should appreciate that he took a life. So no, you can shut the fuck up and go back to your corner now. But nonetheless, I don't want to make it about that, but I like, maybe it triggered me. I saw Grace Randolph. Maybe Grace Randolph was like giving a review for the movie, and I'm like, you know what? I don't trust you. I don't trust you, man. I don't trust you.
Well, she's the same one that came out, and she was just like talking shit about like everybody who wanted the Snyderverse and all that, and she's like baiting them and like talking trash to them and like doing all this stuff like that. And it's like, I know, trust me, you don't. Like that whole attitude. There are some people in the covering of movies that media personalities or influencers or whatever that are really just fucking not entertaining at all, and that are boring and that have terrible opinions, but they have built this just by being different, just by being there first, and by flaunting their contacts and this and that and sources, like openly spoiling movies for people, like big parts of movies, like just to get there first. Oh, she's done 1,000 times.
Oh, really?
She's the one that broke the fucking thing that apparently they're killing off the Snyder League because at the end of the movie, she basically said the fucking twist of goddamn the Flash movie.
I'm on Twitter, but yeah, holy shit.
And like, and then when people combat them, they're like, little person, let me tell you, like, it's just like, I don't understand how the fuck somebody with that attitude towards people who pay attention to their content. That's the way I see it. Like, nothing against you personally, whatever. I have. And she's not the only one either, by the way.
No, there's plenty. Yeah, there's plenty of them.
We know. There's a bunch of people that
don't
are
need
really
to name them,
fucking
but
big in this. That like are fucking terrible at their goddamn jobs. You're boring, you're entertaining. You sit there and you say the most basic fucking shit, and half the time you're just talking about, I know someone at fucking Marvel. I know someone at DC. Trust me.
How much dick did you suck, sir?
I've worked on a movie. It's like fucking all that shit. And I'm not talking. When I say I've worked on a movie set, I'm not talking about David Cray. David Cray is a professional fucking.
No, I love David Cray. I mean, you didn't have to say his name. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
There's other. I just didn't want to get that confused.
There's disingenuous people.
Yeah, there's people who were first in the game of covering movies who happen to live in LA, so they have that like strident, like that little bubble there. So they have that main C state, but you guys aren't doing shit that's worthy except for your fucking contacts. Your actual content, your entertainment value is dog shit. And it's embarrassing the way you talk down to people like you're better than them. You are a movie fan who happened to ride the wave of the fucking internet and be in the right place at the right time. And you should thank your lucky fucking stars that you were there and that people give a shit what you say. And you should stop talking down to people and treating them like lesser than, because all you are is a fucking movie fan, just like us.
That's it, man.
You sit on a mic and you run your fucking mouth. You're not fucking goddamn fucking
Siskel and Ebert reborn. Yeah.
Like,
that's how what's funny to me is like you and I started out with nothing, dude. And the idea is that, and we've always maintained this. We're just gonna bring you guys the news. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna have a good time. Honestly, God, we're trying to keep personal opinions out of it. And I would never excuse I would never. Honestly, Ezra Miller's behavior is so erratic. It's so disgusting. It's so all over the place. The way that he's acted, for anybody to come on and be like, well, he's going through a lot. Like, they're fucking Sweet Lou. He's going through a lot and we don't know what's happening, so we should cut him a break. No, man, listen.
Unless it's Jessica Chastain, and then, oh my God, fuck that bitch. I hope she burns in hell.
Listen to my face. He's an actor. He makes money. He's got a bank account that's, I'm sure, full of millions. You are claiming to be a regular folk movie fan, and you're making excuses for this guy like you hang out with him at karaoke bar every Wednesday. I think you're full of shit, and I don't like that, and I think it's disingenuous. And what I think that happens is there are multiple people that do this. It's not just her. There are multiple people, and again, I'm not going to name names. We're only talking about a specific person here. But at the same time, I don't want, by the way, I just want, this is for legal, this is for any, do not go and give hate comments to her Twitter, to her Instagram, to her YouTube channel. None of that. This is for, we're not directing any hate towards her. I'm just discussing, an opinion. Well, I know. I'm just discussing an opinion. Well, you have to be careful nowadays because, fuckers will always pick up a little tiny thing. I'm like, see what they did?
Yeah.
I just feel like there's such a disingenuous plague out there. There's such a disingenuous virus out there of these fuckers that act like they're better than everybody else and they've got the inside know. It's disgusting, man. And Mike and I have never in our entire, we've been on here since 2012, dude, like 10 years. I have never, and Mike hasn't either, shit on another content creator. I've never said a fucking word. I don't care. You could be a content creator that was that was a fan, or you started out with us and now you're way bigger than us. I don't care. I mean, good for you, man. You did it right. You caught the wave and you did it. But there are certain people out there, man, that I know what they do is they try to be the face of the everyday person, and ultimately they're nothing more than two-faced. They're the epitome of what Fox News or CNN or MSNBC are. They're gonna side with the celebrity, and they're gonna make you feel, or try to feel, sorry for them because I don't know. They want to get more. They want to get like a contact, or they want to get like some good rubby feelings on their nipples with Hollywood. Dude, if I saw Ezra Miller, I swear to God, dude, I swear to God, if Ezra Miller ever threw a fucking chair at my head, I'd knock that motherfucker out. Have you seen that guy? And he's gonna dance like this. Woo. And he's so bad. I'd knock that motherfucker back to Aquaman Kingdom of Oceans. If that guy ever came at me like he's come at some of those people, that guy would be literally, he would be fucking, dude. I would never let a cocksucker like that do what he did. But at the same time, everybody was drunk and they were at karaoke, but Jesus Christ, dude, you're gonna make excuses for mental health. And you're going to use that as a platform to talk about mental health? Are you fucking stupid? Are you fucking dumb? I think that what you should talk about, Heath Ledger was a mental health advocate and he died. He suicided himself because he was a mental health advocate and he had mental problems, right? And he killed himself. Kurt Cobain.
Well, I don't know if he killed himself. We don't know for sure if that. I think that could have been accidental. We still don't know.
It's possible. It's possible. But my point being is the fact that you're going to use a fucking piece of shit that's in Hollywood, that's protected by his non-binary status, that he makes sure that he points out every fucking time with his goddamn fake ass fucking eyelashes and his fake ass eye makeup. That he,
none of that bothers me. I don't care that.
I don't care. No, it doesn't bother me. But that's, you know what that is? That's called hiding. That's called, I can't face the truth. I'll hide behind a fucking social issue because I can get away with it.
What I'm saying is, I don't think that's him. Like him being non-binary doesn't have anything to do with it. I just think that there's some people out there who are saying, well, you can't attack him because he's non-binary, and that's the problem.
That's exactly called hiding. He's hiding behind a fucking bullshit social construct that he wants to create, so therefore he's untouchable. If I come out tomorrow and say, I consider myself this or that or this or that with this pronoun or that, you can't touch me.
Well, again, it's not like he said that though.
He didn't say that. No, he didn't say that. I'm just saying this cocksucker is fucking insane. There's something wrong with him, right? And by the way, his eye makeup and shit, Boy George did it better than you fucking 25 years ago. So you could stop the bullshit. My point being is, like, I feel like what he is he is an entitled asshole that thinks he can get away with whatever he wants to get away with because he can always claim on the back nine that he is a persecuted individual. And at my stature is like, no, I don't care what you consider yourself. You could be he, she, they, them, they, z, whatever the fuck you want to be on TikTok. You motherfucker broke the law. You deserve to be behind jail or behind bars. Fuck you. and take your ass somewhere else.
Yeah, as a person, fuck him, he should be in jail. There's no doubt about that. There's no doubt about that at all. No matter how you cut it up and slice it
for him,
you are never allowed whatever. You're never allowed to fucking attack women. You can't hit women. You can't hit people. Like it's not. You can't do it. Like fuck you.
No, he identifies himself as a non-binary though. So
I don't think that matters. I'm just saying, like, you know, like you can't fucking assault people no matter what you are.
People.
Like,
yeah, you can't assault people.
You can't do it. Sonny M, thank you very much. Says the girl who plays Harley Quinn as Angela Baker. He's yes or no. The girl who plays Harley Quinn as Angela Baker. Margot Robbie, anything? Yes.
Yeah. Margot Robbie killed it. And by the way, I want you guys to know, me and Mike are very respectful of pronouns as far as like, you know, if you ask us to respect, like, I don't give a fuck. I don't have to believe in what you believe in. I don't have to believe what you say as far as like how you feel the world should be looked at. I don't care. But if you ask me, can you refer to me as this or that? I'll do it totally. I don't have a problem with that. Michael is the same fucking way. I'm just saying, I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. But, you know, my point being is like, that is not going to be an excuse in court for why you can commit shitty crimes. No, I'm sorry. Yeah. I don't care what your fucking pronoun is.
Whether or not you assault women to me is way more important than your sexual 100%. Orientation. I can tell you that.
Not just a woman, anybody. You can assault anybody.
Yeah,
I don't
care
what you go by. I don't care what you go by.
Yeah, especially women though. At least So. But I get what you're saying. Mercury 80, thank you very much. Says I played The Sims 4 modded with not safe for work mods many good times. Yeah, my kid, my 12-year-old actually, she has mods on hers where they can do crazy stuff with it too. She told me that. I was like, that's
Shannon
wild.
Tweed was probably on that shit.
Y'all are smart. I started a joke. Thanks, buddy. He said I just got here. This may be out of context, but I'd like to say I'm feeling a little bit woozy here. So before I go to bed, I want to let y'all know that you're the best. You're the fucking
best, man. Thank you, man. And I love your Joker fucking icon.
Yeah, that's you got beef. You got fucking
some good shit, man.
Jacob, thank you very much, man. Really appreciate that. It says, hey guys, sorry I haven't been up with the streams. We've been busy with work, but love you guys and the band, probably, right, dude? He says, always, and we are playing our final show ever, May 20th, heading to the studio afterwards for our final project. Excited for Ends as well.
Hey, all right, man.
Dude, sorry to hear that. Yeah, sorry to hear that's your final show, but when one door opens, my friend, another one closes. I mean, when one door closes, another, you know what the fuck I'm saying, Jacob.
Make it the final show. Make it the Dune ending, okay?
Fucking
you
fireworks.
The spice leader.
All that shit, Jacob. Thank you, dude. And I hope your fucking last show rocks. I wish we could come to it because we would. Troy Grubb, thank you, buddy. He says, great show tonight. Mike and Jay, love you guys. Appreciate everything you guys do.
Troy.
Appreciate you, Troy.
Hi, you're a sweet individual. I want to hold your hand in an Easter Sunday.
I would too. I would hold your hand. Yeah. Michael Parton, thank you, dude. He says John Campia was supporting him too at first too. I don't call Ezra Miller an asset to the LGBT community the same way of how I feel about Caitlyn Jenner.
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. I don't know. I'm not on the. I'm not Michael. I'm not. Neither one of us are really a part of the LGBT community, but no, I get what you're saying because Ezra Miller, I feel like Ezra Miller is doing what he's doing as a shield. And I feel like he's taking advantage of the LGBTQ plus community to hide his bullshit.
If anything, I feel like, and if you know anything about us on our channel, you know that we have nothing but support for the LGBT community and fuck anybody who does, to be honest with you. But I think I'll just be honest with you, John Campia is a lot like Grace Randolph in the way that he talks down to people, and I just don't appreciate people who talk to their fans that way, or who act like they're higher than because you got lucky enough to do this. Don't get me wrong, it's a lot of hard work. There's a lot of stuff involved with it. You got to do the right things, but I just think that there is an elitism that is just the absolute opposite of everything I ever wanted this channel to be in some of these channels and the way that they talk to people. And I just don't appreciate it. And it builds up in me, and I watch it and I see it happen. It builds up. And then sometimes we have a few brewskis and do a live stream and we rant for a minute. It's not that I have any hate for these people as human beings.
No,
but I don't like it, man. Like fucking you're a movie fan. You're not fucking Steven. You're not Larry King. Stop. Fucking stop.
Yeah, dude, and it's crazy. I think Mike and I talked about that a long time ago. Like the LGBT community, whatever religion, we don't care. I don't care what you identify yourself as. I don't care who you fall in love with. I mean, Mike's the same way. What your religion is. We're here to talk about movies and have some good fucking times. That's what the channel has always been about, and we started that back in 2012, and it never changed. But it's funny when you watch other types of channels that immediately gravitate towards a narrative, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they try to use something that's popular to get themselves ahead, and it's kind of sickening when you watch it. I mean, we're like the N64 that somebody forgot to plug back in.
That's fine.
Like, we're the golden eye.
Yeah.
But we've always maintained, like, hey, it's not I don't care. I really don't care if you like guys or girls, or if you're in between. I don't give a fuck what you are.
And here's the thing,
talk about movies.
The LGBT community is, I guarantee you, the most offended by what he's doing than anybody else is.
Yeah, because he's hiding behind
I mean?
their shield.
Yeah,
it's disgusting. Yeah,
exactly. It's always a fucking straight white person who's out here going, we're not fucking doing enough to support this person because they're gay or a person of color, whatever. Like the people in those communities are like, no, I don't fucking support this shit. This makes me look fucking bad. Well, you know what I mean? It's always some fucking white girl who's out here fucking saying, oh my God, it's racist. You know what I mean? Or
every white girl. That's what I said back in BLM days. It was always the white girl or the white person that was like, they're victims. The bitch, they don't need you to apologize for them. They're not slaves. They can talk for themselves. You motherfuckers are progenitors of continuous racist bullshit and narrative. And that's what white people did. And that's for, like, specifically white women.
Yeah, they want your support, not your fucking leadership.
Yeah,
you know, like,
black people don't need to have you apologize for them. They don't need you to stand up for them. And homosexuals, transsexuals, whatever, they don't need any of that stuff either.
Be an ally.
I said that back in the day. You guys could go. I said that back in the day. You motherfuckers know that. So it's all bullshit, dude. I don't even listen to this anymore because it's so easy to pick one fucking thing, your political message. And then, by the way, there's fake people too that will fucking change on a heartbeat.
Yeah.
When it's not so much popular anymore, they'll change on a heartbeat.
Yeah.
I don't support that anymore because it's not popular.
Yeah.
What I'm gonna say is, Mike and I, when we started back in 2012, there wasn't any of this bullshit going on. We still, all we had was an open channel for everybody to come and join and have a good time. That's it.
Mm-hmm. I think if you're not a part of that group, then you should support them. But you should not try to build a fucking audience based on it, like some people do. You know what I mean? Yeah. You should not go out here and try to be a leader in a cause that you haven't suffered because of. And I think you see a lot of people do that, and it's insanity. Like,
I saw a lot of channels doing that shit, like the Black Lives Matter thing. It's like, you're not black. You didn't suffer for that. I mean,
and I think you can support it. Like, I think supporting it's great, but like some people go out of their way to just make a fucking huge fuss. Anyways, we're getting way the fuck off topic. Yeah. They call me Stamps. Thank you, buddy. He says the Flash movie is a difficult position because of Ezra Miller. I feel bad for everybody because of who works on the movie. All that hard work getting put in peril because of one piece of shit. You're absolutely right. He's an entitled rich brat, and that's the number one thing I see. You know what I mean?
I agree.
And you're right. It's like when a band goes out on tour and one guy in the band fucks it up and says, I'm not doing it. You know how many people are out of work? You know how many people's jobs and lives get fucked up because that one person throwing a temper tantrum? Yep. That's kind of Ezra Miller right now.
It's kind of like Tom DeLonge.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
The Blink split.
Fuck him in that moment for sure. Yep. I've forgiven him, though. I have. Fruit Loops, thank you, buddy. We love you so fucking much. It says, can we also just say that women should not hit men? It's just same deal with Amber Heard trying to hide behind her protect status as a woman. And this is any female. Absolutely.
Yes, I do. I've been following this trial since the beginning. 1000%. That bitch that they brought on, Amber Heard's therapist, she is such a gender biased witness that she pretty much says that men can't be victims. So when Johnny Depp said mean words to Amber Heard, that was severe domestic violence. But when Amber Heard beat the fuck out of him, that was medium domestic violence. Amber Heard's lawyer and Amber Turd, I should say, are the worst examples of this movement ever. Men can be victims of domestic violence. I was a victim of domestic violence. I literally lived through it when I was married to my first wife. I got my head beat the fuck in literally public. I got smacked and punched all the fucking time. And, you know, it is a definite thing that you never get. It's never heard about because it's such a stigma. The bitch that they hired, that, by the way, is Amber Heard's therapist, she is a progenitor of continuing this stigma that men can't be victims of domestic violence, which is disgusting. Men can be victims of domestic violence as much as women can be, because men are usually taught as they're growing up not to strike or hurt a woman. But when you have that type of teaching, that means a woman can beat the fuck out of you and you can't do anything.
Someone taking advantage of their power over you. And if someone knows that the other person will not respond or will not defend themselves and they use that against them, that's abuse.
Well, dude, there's one specific thing. And again, I don't want to keep going. I mean, the trial of Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, but I feel like the trial is more about, I feel like this is going to be a revolutionary thing for men's and women's rights, as far as like who can be a victim of domestic violence. Johnny Depp describes at one point that he was getting his ass beat. She was punching him in the back of the fucking head.
Hey, Michael, we already talked about that, buddy. I'm sorry you were late.
Oh,
sorry,
yeah.
Go ahead, Jay.
But she was punching him in the back of the head, and he turns around and he grabs her fucking wrists, right? And then he pushes it down and bear hugs her to stop her from fucking hitting him. And she's wiggling around. And then she claims he headbutted him. And what he claims is like, our heads are moving around. I didn't headbutt her. She was moving around trying to punch me, and then our heads might have collided. And then she faked that fucking nosebleed and said she put nail polish on the tissue that was in her goddamn nose.
Yeah.
My point being is, yes, I definitely think that Amber Heard, Johnny Depp's trial is more important than just the fact that they're celebrities and they don't like each other and they're both spoiled in some way or another. I feel like it's very important to point out the fact that men can be victims of a domestic violence situation.
Mm-hmm.
And that's fucking facts, guys. That I was a victim of domestic violence when I was first married. I didn't come forward with it. I was beaten up. I was yelled at constantly. There was multiple situations that I was mentally abused. So yes, men can be a victim of domestic violence, but I feel like this is the first time it's ever been put on TV where it showcases that. So
yeah, no, exactly. Someone's ever saying who farted. The movie chair makes a noise when you put the legs down on it, so that's the noise that you heard. Mm-hmm. That's the noise that you heard. But hey, you know, it's been a while since we've had one of these barn burners. Hey, we're gonna talk about one thing and then end up talking about fucking 17.
I loved it. I love it. We can just be open and titty free.
It was time. It was time to have one of these. Hey, we had a couple too many brewskis, and we're just gonna go rant on some wild shit. So those are rarer than they used to be. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you didn't enjoy it, I'm sorry. We'll get back to business in the next stream. But sometimes it just happens to you in the dark of the night. You know, you got to get out there and you gotta let your balls hang out and dip them in. I think
everybody enjoyed it, man.
Well, if you didn't, that's okay too. But
that's okay. It's fine. I mean, you can just take a wild ride off the Rocky Mountain Express.
Yeah. Sometimes shit happens. Hey, but I love you all, and I love fucking everybody, and I hope everybody has a goddamn amazing motherfucking Tuesday night. And we'll see you guys.
I hate you all, and I hope you guys have the worst fucking time.
Except for Ezra Miller.
I have to go the opposite of what Mike said. So
yeah, you fucking piece of shit.
I'm a yin yang guy.
So. Yeah, I like this movie. I thought it sucked.
You do that all the time.
Hey, you want to blow me? No. Yeah, you do.
But hey, we love you guys, and we think that you guys are, we thank you guys for showing up in force tonight.
Yeah. And yeah, thanks for an awesome audience. Hope you guys had fun with the Halloween talk and the Doctor Strange talk and all the other shit that followed. We love your fucking faces, and we'll see you guys super soon. Jay, show them your asshole. Yeah, that fucking curly thing going.
I know. I mean, I'm losing my hair. It's the worst ever.
Night, folks. We love you all.
See you guys.